Happy Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Two Girls, One Rant. My better half, Destiny, unfortunately isn't able to make it today, but she will be back in 2 weeks at our next podcast. The subject to be determined, but we'll get that figured out. Do not worry, we have lots in store for you guys. So today, I am not alone. I'm continuing our Around the World series. Today we visit England. And BronzeRP, better known to most of you as Gary from the Lost MC on NoPixel. He is our guest today. We'll get a couple jabs in back and forth, but awesome dude. I've had the pleasure of role-playing with him before on a different platform. Yep, time to spill the beans. Gary loves beans. All right, so let's pop in there and talk with Gary. Let's get this show on the road. Hi, Gary.
Hi.
All right, so part of our Around the World series, we're visiting your lovely country today.
My lovely part of the world.
Yes. Now, just so we have a reference point here, how big of a village or a city do you live in? Obviously, don't say where you're from if you don't want to.
So the size of the place I live is it's in kilometers squared. It'd be about 160 kilometers squared. I don't know what that would mean to you. What would be best for you?
Well, because we typically don't lay it out in distance wise. We base it upon population because there's especially on the coast, populations are very dense. I live in a very rural area in the Midwest, so we're spread out more. I've got a population of around 18,000 people, which puts us at...
Is that it? Is that it? 18,000?
Yes, 18. And before that, I lived in where I went to high school and college. It was a town of 8,000.
Wow. Okay,
so we base things on population, which is a curious difference.
The population of my district would be around about 220,000.
Okay, so to me, that is a city. Like that's probably the size of the capital of my state.
Ah, okay, yeah, no, that's a. I don't know what the threshold when it like over here is when it comes to like cities, towns, villages. Because to us, I live in a town. I don't live in a city. I live in a town.
I don't know what the qualifications is on that, but I'm considered a town. I consider this for the area that I live in. Well, it's the kind of a hub town because of the big hospital system that we have here. But in general, the area I live in, you've got a lot of small towns, and even probably almost as equal amount of unincorporated towns, meaning they're not officially stamped as a town.
All right.
You know, and that can be like anywhere from like 100 to several hundred people, and that's it. Which is like a teeny little village to you, but they're not designated as an actual town.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I was looking it up, and apparently it's like about 300,000 residents for it to be considered a city.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just a little shy, I suppose.
Well, and it depends on where you're at too, because I mean, even around the States, it depends on where you live of what's considered a big area or not. The Midwest, very, very rural, lots of farming country. So that should help put it in perspective, whereas the cities along the coast, I mean, they are packed, huge buildings, you know, lots of...
where I live, there is a lot of farms as well around there where I live.
Okay, so you live in what could be a little more rural for you guys, but you also have a very limited real estate.
Yeah, we do. Everything's basically smaller. That's the easiest way of putting it over here.
So I guess that could lead to one of my first questions. Like, we're so materialistic, you know, we have to have a bunch of land, big house, all this fancy technology. You know, if we watch any kind of TV, well, I guess it probably is anything outdated when it considers depicting what it's like over in England. It's very minimalistic, smaller houses. You have kind of basically just what you need. Is it still a lot the same way, or has that been changing in the last couple decades?
I mean, i these days it is very different when it comes to like thing. Like for one example would be back when I was a kid, you'd be out and about, whereas these days the kids are inside, playing on either the phone or the computer or something like that. So, I mean, as technology's advanced, I suppose we have become more. Yeah, we've got. Yeah, I don't know how to put it.
I guess we're all. I would say you're Americanizing, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, 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 yes, yes, yeah. Actually, yeah. We're Americanizing basically.
Well, I mean, that happened back in the 50s post-war for you guys as well. I mean, America was bouncing back big time due to all these innovations and buying on credit. And I remember watching a documentary that said, England was trying to do a lot the same with all these modern gadgets and everything else.
All right, all right. I'm not too sure about that. It's a bit before my time.
Well, obviously, it's before my time too, and even before my mother's time a bit. I'm not going to say actually how old she is because she will murder me.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
So,
to be honest, yeah, actually before my dad's time as well. Oh, we've got an ice cream van outside. Sorry about that.
oh, I was going to say, what's that? Okay, everybody, we want ice cream. Bronze, you're paying for the stream.
We have that around here where I live. Usually every day around about between like 8 o'clock and 8:30, the ice cream van will come around the estate.
We get that sometimes. It just depends on where you're at. If somebody actually owns a truck that's doing that.
Yeah, yeah. They put the person who runs it they just live up the road. They do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. If because he was called Fred, who used to run it. His daughter runs it now. Fred used to give us free ice lollies every now and then.
Aw.
Because he used to live I think it's 2 doors down from my nan. So yeah, you used to get free ice lollies.
Oh, and Keji is saying that, yeah, a typical English thing, ice cream vans around this time. But same goes for here, too. I think usually it's if you're in a more populated area that they have those, too. I remember being at a medieval combat practice in the bigger city.
All right.
And this van decided to show up, music playing and everything. Everybody stopped fighting and immediately went over like ice cream
wow.
man
Okay,
priorities.
I mean, ice cream will solve world peace, I suppose. Then.
It will. We just need to start handing ice cream out to everybody.
No. Yeah, you can have a 99. You can have a 99.
All right, and 99 was that?
Oh, that's an ice cream over here, basically. It's like an ice cream with a flaking top. You know the chocolate bar flake.
Oh, and we don't have that.
Yeah, well, over here that's what a 99 is basically. You get an ice cream, and they stick one of them in. It used to be 99p. It's not anymore though.
Well, yeah, that's because everything has gone up in price.
Yeah. So that's basically why it's called a 99, I believe. I think.
I mean, I used to get a 20 ounce of soda for like 99 cents, and now it's.
But when you say 20-ounce soda to me, that's I
gibberish.
Don't know
Bottle, a bottle of soda.
Yeah, how much would that be in milliliters though?
You guys in your freaking metric system.
Then I'd understand. What about liter? How much would it be in the liters?
In liters, I would say probably 2.5 of these bottles would make a liter.
Oh, right. So
like you've got cans, right?
Yeah.
Cans are about 12 ounces.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, a can of soda is 12 ounces. A bottle is 20 ounces. 330 milliliters. There you go. DK's got you covered.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Hey,
then.
Red Butt.
All right. Just one of them small cans. Yeah, no, I know what you mean now.
Yeah, so 20-ounce bottle, because like we do things. So you got your 12-ounce cans, and you got your 20-ounce bottles, and then you have a 1-liter bottle, and then a 2-liter bottle.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
I used to be able to buy one of those for 99 cents, and then now you're lucky to get it for like $1.50.
Over here, you get them like for like a bottle for like what you're talking. You get get them for like I don't know £1.20 or something, £1.20.
Well, and the currency difference is conversion rate is a little different too, because like I think you'll say numbers that I think, oh man, fuck, that's expensive. But I think on par, like
that's like $1.63 apparently.
okay, a little more expensive, but it also depends like in the ratio of like income to what you have to end up spending is a bit different too.
Well, it's I don't know. I always like I don't know like houses and shit like that. I always thought they was more expensive over here than they are
Oh,
over where you live.
oh yeah.
Like for example, a 3-bedroom house where you
Oh,
live,
they
how much do
do.
you think that'd cost? About
Well, it depends on where you live. It's very regionalized because areas that are just on the edge of town or just outside of town and include some acres on it, you're easily looking at around 400,000.
yeah, but you got some acres and shit like that. Fucking, I can probably guarantee you something like that over here probably costs like a fucking million or something like that.
Oh, geez, probably. Well, because 5 acres, well, I grew up on just outside of the town, maybe about a mile outside of my little town of, must have been 25,000 people. And I mean, this is when I still lived in Illinois. And between my grandparents and my parents, it was about 7 acres, which is a good amount. But up
It's that,
here, there's a lot of tourism and everything else. Like, you want waterfront property, you're going to be paying through the nose. You want property that's just outside of town, you're going to still pay quite a bit. Not quite as much as waterfront, but still quite a bit. Inside the town, you're lucky to have about a half acre of
I just,
land, three
I just,
bedroom house, probably about $200,000 to $250,000 for a good one.
yeah, I just looked like at a picture just for like a reference of how big 5 acres is. That's pretty big, that. Damn.
It is pretty big, but inside town, you're lucky. You're probably about, I would say, average about maybe half an acre, probably less.
All right, all right.
It depends on like how old the house is and how big it is for square footage. I mean, you'd be lucky to get a good house, well intact and everything, with about a quarter acre for under 100,000.
Don't you guys have like a lot of detached houses?
What do you mean detached?
So a semi-detached house is like one house and then split in two, whereas a detached is on its own, and then a terrace is a load of
Oh,
houses.
okay. So here, if we have a house that's split into two different living spaces, like two families can live there,
Yeah,
that's called a duplex.
yeah. Okay.
Sometimes you'll have it where there's three inside, but those are usually bigger houses. For the most part, we have a lot of just standalone houses. They're not a duplex or anything. They're personal houses for just one family. Apartment complexes or townhouses where it's like one house split into multiple living areas. Um, those are more common as a way of kind of renting, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Some
All right.
people do rent houses, but it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, because the most common where I live is semi-detached houses and terrace houses.
But that goes back into the whole thing of you guys have limited real estate, so you got to make the space work that you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think like when it comes to house sizes too, like I'm living in a very small 1 bedroom house currently. My 2 bedroom apartment had more room than this. But I think it's maybe 700 square feet of space in the house.
All right, all right.
You basically have your bedroom, you have the bathroom, and a combined area for your kitchen and living room. There's really no dining room.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I think I know it.
But typically, other houses will have like you've got your bedroom, your kitchen and your dining room are separate or in one big room, and your living room is a separate room, and other spaces.
Yeah,
So
because
let's.
one over here, some of the flats, like one of the flats that my mate used to live in, he'd have his bedroom and his living room would like basically be, well, his bedroom, living room, and kitchen would like be all one, and then he had his bathroom, like where his toilet and his bath was.
Because here, like, that sounds like an efficiency apartment almost. Like, efficiency apartments might have like 200 square feet in it, where your bedroom and your living room is basically the same thing. You've got like a little kitchenette where you've like a mini fridge and one burner for a stove if you have a stove.
Right, because
Studio
I'm
apartment,
pretty
yeah.
sure I'm pretty sure when you say apartment, you mean flats to me.
Yeah, flats. There,
Right, yeah.
there's so many. It's funny how we originally started with your language and how it's over time. It's just kind of the slang and what we call things has kind of grown because like we call them fries, you call them chips.
Yeah, yeah. There's some. Well, to be honest, even over here, there's like a Ginnell, for example. Someone 20 miles away from me don't really know what a Ginnell is, or even to Cruckle.
I don't even know it sounds like you're speaking Greek.
So a Ginnell is basically like it can be like an alleyway. For example, in Manchester, there's a lot of on housing estates. You've got like a lot of either semi-detached houses or terrace houses, and then you've got the back garden behind it, and then you've got what's called a Ginnell, like a little walk through an alley where you can put your bins or whatever,
Oh, okay.
and then you know and then keep going. You've got a back garden and then a house. You know what I mean?
Is it common to have little gardens?
Yeah, yeah. Well. It depends really.
Well, because
I
your gardens
in
are different
in
than what we would consider a garden.
yeah. From your standards, our gardens are probably small. Yeah.
Well, and you guys like because like for your gardens there, is it usually like you do have some like veggies in there, like a lot of herbs and other plants?
Not really. That's more of like older people. When I was younger, they used to have something called what they used to call allotments, where they used to have like patches of land that people could rent, and you had a lot of the older people they'd rent like little patches of land, and they'd have like greenhouses there, and you know they grow like tomatoes and stuff like that.
Okay. Because here, I mean, it depends on where you're at too, but typically a garden inside a town um, is just basically a flower bed, or what you might consider just a flower bed. There's really no,
Oh, okay. No,
yeah. Well, because
no,
it
no.
used to be common, I think, for you guys to grow some of those things, so you'd have some fresh veggies or some fresh spices. And for here, it's predominantly decorative, although going gardening to have actual food is becoming more common.
I can see some of the like in Manchester, for example. I could see some of the estates having smaller gardens, just because obviously Manchester has got more people. But where I'm from, back when it would have been, like let's say early 1900s, late 1800s or something like that, there probably wouldn't have been many people here. So like for example, I've got a reasonably large garden, and on my estate that I live, most people have got a large garden. The only ones that don't are people who live in terrace houses. They have a small back garden, and they have no front garden normally.
Okay. Croc saying from his understanding, is garden another way of saying your yard, or is that a separate thing?
N- yeah, no, yeah, my yard garden. Yeah, that
Garden
I call
yard?
it. Yeah, yeah, we call it a back garden and front garden.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Because we say garden, we mean like literally an area to grow plants.
Ah, okay, all
Whereas
right,
your
no.
yard is like the grass and the space that you have that's on your property that doesn't have a structure on
Ah, okay, all right, yeah, no.
it.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
yeah,
it's funny how like how
it's so different.
yeah, how words that are used differently between our two areas.
But yeah, like I was saying, so someone from Manchester, if I said Ginnell to them, most of the time they probably wouldn't know what I mean, or even when I say Cruckle, or I was walking down the road, and you know, I crockled. That means like when you know when you go over on your ankle, like when you roll your ankle
Oh,
or
when you
something
roll
like
your
that.
ankle, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I've always known that as cruckling. I cruckle.
So what do you call the bathroom?
Usually the toilet.
The toilet?
Yeah,
Someone
normal.
Destiny says it's the loo. Is that a common terminology depending on where you're at?
I mean, sometimes I'll say I'm going to the loo. I'm nipping to the loo. Just depends. Lou's more of like an informal, really like you know, informal type thing or something like that.
Keji says the shitter, but I think that's
Yeah, yeah,
universal.
yeah,
That's
yeah. The shitter.
universal
There you
language
go.
because
Yeah.
we call it that here too.
Oh yeah, there you go. I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, so Redbud Burgundy says, I'm English and he's just making up words at this point. But that actually leads me
See,
to something else I had learned from another British guy I used to game with is that depending, like, the villages or the areas are so well diverse that they'll have their own slang being 20 miles apart. Is that
yeah,
something that's
yeah,
true?
yeah. That's true. That's what I mean with, for example, cruckle or ginnel. You know, there's certain terms that people won't understand even 20 miles away.
See,
Like, what the
that's
fuck you on about?
See, that's fascinating to me because here you have to go several, like a state or two away
Yeah,
in order to get that.
although it feels like you got to go like hundreds of miles or something like that.
You do. And whereas geographically, I can take your country and fit it into most of our states.
Yeah, yeah, and it seems like, for example, the way everyone's, you know, their accents and stuff like that. Like someone, for example, someone 20 mile away from me could have a different accent.
Oh yeah, like here you'd have to go hundreds of miles for that because I'd have to go 500 miles south of where I'm at to where you just start getting what they call the southern accent. You got to go even further than that to really get it. And then even around there, there's different variants of a southern accent. And then of course you have the East Coast, which has its own variations of accents depending on where you're at in those states.
All right.
And then you got California, which is just freaking weird.
Like for example, Liverpool, from where I live, Liverpool's like 40 to 45 miles away, and if you spoke to someone from Liverpool, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, because Redbud's adding in here. She says, "I sound completely different to Bronze, and we aren't super far apart, really."
She probably sounds posh. That's what she probably sounds like.
Is that such a bad thing? Because from the American perspectives, we always think, oh, the English, they just sound posh and proper, and like they're too good for us, like they got their nose in the air.
Well, to be honest, it's more of a northerner just taking a jab at a southerner, that because I'm from the north, so we're all basically like working class, you know, blah blah blah, you know. Let's go to the pub for a pint after work. Whereas everyone down south is, you know, they're all posh, you know, they'll all drink wine or something like that.
That is a good segue to another question I had for you is rivalries. Like we'll have rivalries between different states here. Do you have rivalries with different how do you guys split it up? Because we split everything up into states and each state has different counties and townships. How do you split things up there, and do you have rivalries with any of them?
So, yes. Yeah, I think with me, a lot when it comes to rivalries, the main thing I know for rivals is it comes down to a lot of football and stuff like that. With rivalries, like fucking, like one example's Manchester and Liverpool. They obviously have a rivalry, but apparently that dates back to when the Manchester Canal was built. Because
Oh, okay.
yeah, because once the Manchester Canal was built, apparently they could just, you know, sail their materials up to the Manchester Canal instead of having to go through Liverpool docks. So that created a rivalry there, and then that's, I think, gone to football. I think I'm right with my history
That's
though.
well, that's because football is well, your country seems extremely passionate. Well, any country that has football, I think, is extremely passionate about it. Like, technically, the states does too, but like they're more passionate about the American football than what we call soccer. But you guys get like super into your football games and the rivalries between teams, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. But there is like it, it's weird with like rivalries here. Like for example, you know, English people, for example, will poke fun at Welsh people, and they'll be like, "Oh, you shag sheep," all that stuff, and then they'll do the same with like Scottish people, and Scottish and Welsh people will do the same with us, and then it goes even, and then it'll go to like northern people, versus southern people having a little type of rivalry, and it go even smaller to like, for example, Manchester, Liverpool, and then it'll go even smaller to like where I live, and one of the boroughs near us is called Bury, and they're basically, that's like a rival town type thing.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of rivalry around American football teams here, but it also depends on where you're at. The state where I'm from, it's the Green Bay Packers is the football team here, and it's really hit and miss, because then you also have states where there's no football team that is represented there. But then you go into the South and they get passionate about football, whether it is high school football, college football, or their own state team.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed about a lot of over in America. You've got, you're very passionate about, like, for example, what you said, university football and stuff like that. Where over here it's more of like people are, like, for example, university games over there. You'll actually have a lot of people watching it, won't you?
Oh, yes.
You'll have a lot of people. Like over here, you will have people watching, a game, but it won't be televised or anything like that. If it's something like a university game or something like that.
Oh, no, it's highly televised. I've actually attended a few through school. There was a day where they call it Badger Band Days,
All right.
because the badger is the animal of the states, are the icon for the university.
Okay then. All right.
And so they'll invite certain pep bands from schools all around the state to come and attend this. And so I actually got to witness, highly televised, huge stadium, packed, camera crews everywhere. They got the big, oh shoot, I forgot what it's called. But the huge TV screens where they can pan around the audience and show it up on the huge screen.
Okay, yeah, yeah. What? Or you mean one of them thing? What, in the middle? You have it in the middle, like hanging down or some shit.
No,
Like
ours
similar.
isn't.
I was just thinking because like in basketball
Yes,
games,
thank
for
you.
example, they have that, don't they?
Yeah, they do in
the-
basketball
where-
games.
where-
Jumbotron.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
called a jumbotron.
Jumbo.
But it's kept around the outside edge. Now it also depends on how the stadium was built and where it's at. But Destiny was saying here, because she's considered more in the South, and a high school games growing up.
That's a jumbotron. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
jumbotron. Yeah, huge big screen. Full of millions of LEDs that can basically, they'll run ads on it.
Okay.
And banners, but they can also cue it into one of the cameras that's in the audience and show the audience.
Oh yeah, when you have like that kiss cam and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Most of the time over here on when the cameras are panning around to like different people in the audience, 9 times out of 10, usually when the person notices that they see themselves on the screen and they start cheering, the camera will dart to someone else.
Oh, heaven forbid! We cannot show emotion.
Usually that's what they do. They dart to someone else.
Where here they try to catch that kind of crazy stuff and everything else. They is it still more culturally acceptable to be seen as composed and calm rather than going crazy, I should say?
Uh,
Or is that something
I
that's
don't know.
changing as well?
I don't know because I'm not too sure.
Well, because the
No, no, because
stereotype over here is that English people, they're prim, they're proper, they've got the posh accent, they don't overly show excitement or anything,
oh no,
unless they're the bad guy.
when it comes to football, or depend, uh, well, like me, I show excitement. You should have heard me when we was watching England. I totally forgot that I had my mic on voice activated,
Oh, I
and
heard about this.
I was in the chat with Roman, and England scored, and I just screamed fucking, I was screaming, cheering, that they'd scored and stuff like that. And because I still had my headphones on, Roman's like, "What the fuck's going on? You fucking shit me up! What the hell?"
You can swear here.
But yeah, so yeah,
Well,
I get.
yeah, but that's Roman too. I mean, like if I was in the channel with you guys, you started screaming about that, I would be asking what the fuck's going on.
He should have been watching it himself.
We're not that crazy about it here.
And Roman's English. Connor Kronos, he's English.
He sounded American whenever we would play.
Use lot of Americanized him.
Okay, I had nothing to do with that. He was already Americanized by the time we got to him, all right?
Damn it.
Okay, so it's not our fault. Don't be looking at us.
He should sound like Reggie. Did you ever hear Reggie?
I know, I've heard
Sock's character.
Oh, Sock's character. I've never heard what Reggie sounds like, but I have heard Sock on his stream a couple times.
Oh, Reggie used to do a brilliant Brummy accent. That was great.
I've got a question here from Sofa. Have you ever played rugby?
No. When I wanted to play rugby when I was younger, when I was in high school, but the high school I went to, they didn't do rugby. They only did football. So I just carried on doing football.
Oh, so you actually played football?
Well, I didn't play for the school team. I just randomly played with my friends because when I was growing up, I was a bit naughty.
Naughty? Never.
Yeah, so over here, only like the good boys, or if you was extremely good, them type of people would join the football team.
Yeah, here it was basically if you're good at it, you're put in. And you end up getting special privileges and stuff. So
well, you won't get forced into it. I mean, if you
you didn't get forced into it here either, but like you were encouraged to do it and be part of it.
Like there was a friend of mine. He was really good at football, but he was also naughty. He was and he joined the football team, but that was rare when I was growing up. That wasn't really.
They had to have a certain
It was usually
clean school record or a cleaner school record.
It was usually what we used to call the brainiacs or the boffins.
Oh,
it was usually them type of people that would join the football team and stuff like that.
Oh, here we call them jocks. Because then you had the brainiac or the smart people that were usually part of the popular class. Or the nerd class, which is low on the totem pole.
Well, boffins and stuff like that is basically what you'd call a geek, a nerd.
Oh, see here, that's considered low. On the socials totem pole of your school, being a nerd or a geek, you are one of the lowest on the totem pole.
Yeah, it was. When I was growing up, yeah, if you was on like being in like a football club or anything like that, that wasn't like them. All them lot wouldn't hang around together with each other, if you know what I mean, all the time. Whereas from I don't know if it's true, but from like films and stuff like that, what you see, it seems like the jocks always hang around together all the time and they're all friends.
Yeah, they create kind of a bond or a deep friendship from all the practice and everything that they go through. But I mean, the same can be said about like a lot of the people who are in band here. the popular kids that were part of it would be constantly hanging out even outside of that class.
I remember when I was in primary school, and I wanted to do music lessons. So I asked the teacher, and put me in a music class after school. And for 2 weeks, the only chord that he taught me was G. So I gave up. I was like, "Fuck this."
What did you try to play?
I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. I was like, must have been like 9 or 10 at the time, and he'd be like, "I just want you to, keep playing G. I want you to, get the rhythm of it." I'm like, "Okay." Then
What was it, like piano, or was it an actual
no,
instrument?
no, it was guitar.
Oh, guitar. Okay, that'd be a bit different. Like, do they have music classes, like, as a class you can take, like during
when I was a kid, yeah. But when I was in primary school, you could get music lessons for like, I think it was like an hour after school. You could go to music lesson.
Oh, it was after school.
Yeah, it was after school.
Sorry,
and then you could learn.
Burgundy almost made me spit out my coffee.
It's all right.
I don't know if you have chat open or not.
No, I don't.
All right, so she says that, let's put it this way: the football lads would be the ones going to practice and putting in the hours. Bronze was a little shit and wouldn't spend more time in school than he'd have to. Do you guys know each other IRL or something?
No.
Okay.
But she's.
It sounds like something that a little sister would say.
But she's right. Yeah, but she's right though.
She sounds a lot like she'd be like your little sister or something.
Yeah, kind of. Sounding like it.
She really is.
I don't know.
Be careful. I mean, she sounds like she's gunning for your VP spot in the Lost.
Listen, she ain't gonna get that. I'm never permering. You shoot me as many times as she wants.
You may go to ICU for a week, but you'll still be around.
I'm not even going to ICU to her. I'm just gonna, not even acknowledge her role play.
Noodlehead.
Yeah.
Does she play on the server?
I don't think so. Pretty sure she don't.
Okay. Well, she's calling you a noodlehead, so let's talk about your pot noodles.
She's one of Bobo's viewers. That's where I know her from. Rudy. But pot noodles, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I believe she is one of the mods for Rudy.
Yep.
Which I know you guys have different streamer names, but I'm just getting so used to calling you by your character names from NoPixel that
I'll be honest with you, it felt really weird calling him Bobo just then.
I know it does feel like calling him Bobo is just weird because like he's always Rudy to me.
It felt weird calling him Ferret earlier instead of calling him Al.
I know. Well, and what's really weird is I'm not going to actually say his name, but when I actually have to refer to him by his actual name to somebody, I oftentimes will call him Ferret.
Oh my god, fuck's sake.
I mean, I kid you not. But yeah, we give you shit about your pot noodles a whole lot. So for those in chat who don't know what pot noodles are, do you want to tell us what it is?
Noodles in a pot. What else? What else is it?
Well, in a pot, like we call it
noodles in a pot. Well, it's
does it come in its own cup, man? Does it have flavoring?
It's like a little plastic pot thing that it's in, and some people like to just pour boiling water into it and fill it to the fill line. But me personally, I like to smash it up and then fill it up to the fill line. Smash like the ramen up or whatever you want to call it, the noodles, and then it has depending on what you have, it'll have a little sachet in it, and it'll have something in it. Like for example, the chicken and mushroom ones have a little sachet of soy sauce in it.
Okay. Yeah, because we'll call them a cup of noodle or ramen noodles, which are both different brands here for it, and which are basically the same thing.
Okay, all right.
You know, where you pour. Usually the cup of noodles come in like a thick plastic coated cardboard, ish or paper thing, or they'll come in like a styrofoam cup, and you just fill it with hot water, leave it for 5 minutes, and you're good to go. Ramen has little flavor packets that are usually filled with so much salt that, to me, tastes disgusting, but others like it. But
Oh,
it's super cheap.
You mean they've got like a it's like a powder.
Yeah, like a little powder that you mix in with it.
Yeah. No. Pot noodles don't have that. They use the chicken and mushroom one has a little sachet of soy sauce. The curry sauce one has a little sachet of I think it's mango chutney.
So you
or
say
something like that.
sachet? Is this like a little sauce packet that you pour over it?
Yeah. It's like this little tiny sauce packet
Oh,
that's in it.
okay.
Yeah, and then the Bombay Bad Boy, that's my favourite. That has like this little
What is that?
that has like this little hot sauce in it.
Oh, okay.
A little sachet of hot sauce. So yeah, that one's a hot one. Obviously, that's why it's called Bombay Bad Boy.
All right. So I remember a time a couple months ago, we were posting different things like that kidney pie in a can or the breakfast in a can, and it looked so disgusting.
Oh, wait a minute, what's that called?
I forget what it was called.
Paddy was saying us before. It's the pie in the can. Oh, I've got one downstairs. I've got a steak and kidney one.
Yeah, there's like a steak and kidney pie in a can, and you like open the top of it and bake it in the oven or something, and it looks so freaking disgusting.
Oh, Frey Bentos.
Okay, yeah, Keji just said that too. Frey Bentos pie.
Yeah, so Frey Bentos, you got like I like the steak and kidney one, or just steak. Them two are the ones that I'll eat if I ever have that.
Oh God, do you have an iron gut, Gary?
Frey Bentos is actually really nice.
All right, can someone from chat, like Keji or Burgundy, can you back this statement up?
It really is. So the most recognised of all tin pies, the classic Frey Bentos steak and kidney. There's delicious delicious pieces of steak and kidney covered in tasty beef gravy and topped with puff pastry.
Okay, so Keji says they're fucking disgusting, and that is a quote.
Oh my, Keji doesn't know what they're talking about. Oh my god. Don't listen to Keji. Don't listen to Keji. Frey Bentos is fucking beautiful, right? It was an honor to eat Frey Bentos when I was a kid.
Because I remember one day in the Lost Discord, they were just posting all these like different videos, and it just, I know they were trying to get your goat, and you're just like, no, it's so good, and I'm looking at these wanting to puke.
I mean, the breakfast in the can one as well. I mean,
okay, the scrambled egg looked like butter on the toast. That's how smushed it was.
Wait, which one did?
I don't know which one got posted.
Was it the one that Paddy showed?
I don't know. Patty and Ferret are both going off on this.
Oh, the all-day breakfast. Oh yeah. No, that's. I'll be honest with you. It's not that bad. It's all right. It really is. It's all right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, it might not be real meat. It's probably like, I don't know, some cat or something like that that's been stuck in a can. But,
oh God.
Yeah, it's actually nice. It's weird because all the stuff that is good for you tastes shit, but all the stuff that is bad for you tastes delicious.
Not necessarily true. Although it is true here that the convenient and cheap food is terrible for you, and some of it does taste good. But Keji also says that there's a Heinz beans with sausages in a can.
Keji said what?
There's a Heinz beans with sausage in a can.
Yeah. Heinz beans with little, like little sausages that are like a third the size of a normal sausage.
Is this how the whole bean thing got started with you? Because like Sophos she loves the little bean. Now Lucky Misfit, who plays Lucy, made the icon that I have up for you right now.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so cool. I love that what she did. It's amazing. It really is.
Is that how the bean thing got started for you? Because I remember we were making fun of you one day, and then this
I'll be
popped
honest.
up.
I'll be honest with you. I can't remember. I think it just. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's.
Jeez.
I don't know. I think it's from like.
It came from we were heckling you about something, and then that came up.
Well, I think it comes from just because I do like beans, and I do eat beans a lot. Like beans on toast is something that I'll have very often. I like.
Oh, I've heard Keji mention that too. Now, is this like what we consider baked beans here, or is it just like
baked beans? Yeah.
Oh, it'd be baked beans. Okay.
Yeah. So like, beans just goes with everything. You can have sausage, mash, and beans. You can have egg chips and beans.
He's so passionate about food.
You got full English. You can just have beans on toast. It's really nice and simple.
I've had beans and cornbread is what we'd have for dinner sometimes. You get a big batch of baked beans with some serve it over some cornbread, or the cornbread on the side. Is good. All right, so Burgundy's also asking, the most important question is, what's the best biscuit to dunk? And by biscuit, like our definition of biscuit here is different from yours. Yours is more like what we would consider a cookie, right?
Wait, who asked that? Red?
Yes, red.
Oh, right. Usually hobnobs. Hobnobs are usually the best. The only thing with hobnobs is they basically drink your fucking brew. They'll soak your fucking brew up.
Oh, okay. They're very absorbent.
Digestives are they are nice. They are nice dunking. They are nice when you dunk them in your brew. But the only thing is they're very when they get wet, they tend to snap off and fall in your brew.
And you just got to drink it up then.
Yeah, but
so they absorb it pretty well then, pretty quick.
Your hobnobs, yeah, hobnobs. Holy shit! There's a comedian who did a little sketch about that, saying how he was on about how basically how digestives, the little wussies, and they'll once they get a little bit of brew on them, they'll basically fall into the cup, whereas hobnobs are like Marines or something like that. They're like, dunk me again, because you can literally dunk them as many times as you fucking want, and they won't fall into your brew.
Okay, Red, and we'll include Keji in this too. Is Bronze right?
Peter K. It was that was the comedian.
Oh, okay.
And I'm always right about everything. I had this discussion with Al.
Why am I not surprised by this? Because he also gives you shit for a bunch of tea you drink. I'm guessing like tea drinking is still kind of a staple beverage over there.
Well, I do meme a lot when I say the tea drinking stuff, because nowadays I don't really drink it much. But when I was a little younger, I did used to drink it a lot.
Okay, Keji says that Yorkshire tea is the only tea. Everything else is wrong, and I'm calling bullshit on this.
I'll be honest with you. I never actually had a favorite brand of tea. It was just as long as it wasn't that posh stuff. As long as it was just like Yorkshire tea, I could drink. Yeah, PG Tips, Tetley, whatever. But you get me something like Earl Grey or something like that, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Just give me some fucking builder's tea.
Well, and I've known, I heard Farrah giving you shit for putting like cream or milk in tea, but like
no,
I've
you
had
don't.
an English.
You don't put cream in fucking tea. Let's get that right. You put milk in tea, not cream.
Actually, I've had English breakfast with just a little bit of creamer, not much, just a small splash, and it was very good that way. But it depends on the kind of tea to what you add to it. But like here, they've gone like tea crazy with all sorts of weird different flavors and.
Yeah, and also tea is meant to be hot.
No, not necessarily.
No, it's meant to be hot, right? I'm right.
Sweet tea is you okay, so you have not been out in a day that's like 90+ degrees Fahrenheit.
Listen,
quenching your thirst with some sweet tea.
Listen, hot beverages apparently they cool you down on hot days.
They can to a degree because it raises the internal body temperature of you. So if you are outside in because like your temperatures get hot to what you're recently compared to what you're used to. But if you get the temperatures that they endure in the south and you're drinking hot tea, you're going to give yourself heat stroke.
Ah, you'll be all right.
No,
You
you
better,
won't.
you better drink tea hot. Just use your AC that you all, brag about to cool down. And just drink your tea hot.
Not everyone has that luxury. Like it's more common up here to have air conditioning now, but when I first moved up here in the 2000s, it was more common to not have air conditioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the temperatures have been getting hotter and hotter each summer.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because over here, that's basically
Serve
it's
chill.
like a myth.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that begs the question then. So let's do a little comparison for where you live. And you can obviously give Celsius. I'll bring something up and translate. But on average during the summer, how hot does it get?
I mean, it was like 28 degrees Celsius, like, maybe
Okay.
2, 3 weeks ago, something.
Is that like the hottest that it's been there this
Yeah,
summer?
and I don't think it'll get any hotter. I don't think.
Okay, yep, that's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So at the beginning of July, we hit 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It got hotter from there, and it's now, but we're still averaging mid 80s, so about 28, 29 Celsius.
Is that all year round? Yeah, but
No, obviously not, because in the wintertime, we'll go to negative 20 Fahrenheit.
okay, yeah. You see, over there, it seems like it's crazy. Like, you can go from, let's say, 30 degrees Celsius in the summer to 30 degrees to minus 30 degrees Celsius in the fucking winter. It's so drastic.
I'm an idiot and muted myself on stream. Well, because I was trying to type in negative 20 Fahrenheit to see what it'd be Celsius.
Oh, okay.
And that's my quick mute button for when I have to cough or something.
You see, that's so weird that you got to put negative 20 something. What?
Well, because negative 20 Fahrenheit is negative 28 Celsius.
Like, it just makes so much sense for 0 to be freezing point and 100 to be boiling point.
Well, and 0 is freezing point, and for us that's 32 degrees, but we go well below that.
So weird.
You guys get a lot of rain and everything, but because you have the ocean around you with such a small landmass compared to the United States, that kind of the salt in the air and everything else, that actually helps even things out because you don't get a lot of snow, do you?
Not when I was younger. It seemed to snow every. I don't know if I'm remembering wrong, but it seemed to snow every Christmas. Whereas,
how much would you get accumulated on the ground?
Not a lot, but you get a little bit. The thing is, over here, as soon as we get a little bit of snow, fucking everything stops. We're useless.
Nobody knows how to drive in it.
Yeah, we're useless when it comes to snow.
Gary, I need to bring you here in the wintertime sometime because it is common for us to get 6 to 8 inches in one snow dump.
Oh no, get me! I'm not going nowhere near snow. I hate snow now.
With the average accumulation on the ground of about 3 feet. Now, if you go to where Croc is, Croc lives down in Florida, so he's in Heaven's waiting room or Hell's waiting room, whichever you want to think of it as. Currently, right there, it's well over 90 degrees with a heat index over 100, meaning the humidity is making it feel a lot warmer than it really is. So going back to the tea thing, if you're living in temperatures like that, the hot tea will make you have a heat stroke. So that's why they have cold, sweet tea.
You'd be all right. Just take a swim in a pond or something like that, or a lake, whatever. Just take a little swim in the pond. You gotta have the tea hot somehow.
Okay. Where Croc lives, you don't want to do that because the alligators will get you.
I mean, hot tea or alligators. Hard choice.
Okay. Have you ever had cold sweet tea?
I've had cold tea before now.
Okay, cold tea is different than cold sweet tea. Because just plain old tea as cold, no, sweet tea is normally black tea that is chilled and then a bunch of sugar added to it.
Mm, no, no, no. Wait, you don't put milk with this sweet tea, no?
No, oh no, it's not the right kind of. Well, because you know yourself that depending on the type of tea you drink, you don't put milk in every single kind of tea. You're more likely to put lemon into this kind of tea.
What?
Yes,
I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's
you're
wrong
you're
with you.
you're the backwards one using a metric system. But Shinigami says that you need to come to Austria. We have the entire July and start of August where they're at 40 degrees Celsius, and then they hit -20 in the winter and snow. Well,
What?
like Shinny, wait, is Shinny actually from Austria?
Austria?
Yeah, Austria, not Australia, Austria.
I don't know. Is she from?
Oh, yes, she is. Okay, Shinny,
I don't
you've
know
now
why,
been
but
targeted for
I
the
don't know
Around the
why.
World series.
I don't know why, but I thought she knew. I don't know why, but I thought she was from Australia. I don't know why.
No.
But yeah, I remember seeing a picture of it was like a stop sign in America, and it was like one of them. It was like a video of, you know, like over a day, and the snow was at the bottom at the start of the day, and then at the end of the day you could just see like a little bit of the red, you know, at the top of the sign.
She says, because you're a tater, Gary. No kangaroos here, just mountains.
Yeah, no, I don't like the heat. I've got ginger in me. I've got ginger genes. 'Cause it's weird because when I was a kid, I was like full on ginger, but now I'm not, basically.
Oh, don't worry. I'm a ginger too. Like I don't have the flaming red hair, but you don't have to have the flaming red hair to be a ginger.
Yeah, but I, I have the skin. That means you know, I'm like vampire basically. You know, you get a little bit of sun on me, and I'm like, what's that? I'm dying. Close the curtains.
Okay, so Lullaby here says that I'm a fellow Brit, and I think Gary needs to think of iced tea as a completely different drink than good old builder's tea, and to accept it, because that's what she does.
You have to give it a different name. You have to give it a different name. You have to take the tea out of it.
Well,
Just,
what about boba tea?
no, we'll just call it a sweet drink. Yeah, do you want a sweet drink? Right, I'll have a sweet drink. But if you're calling it tea, it has to be hot. Come on.
All right, so Sofa asks, are there more fair-skinned people in England with it being more mild in temperature? Meaning that even people who aren't gingers are people generally pale most of the time, or are there more redheads likely found in England?
No. Redheads are usually like pretty rare. I'd say that's what I'd say. Like most people I know, but only I'd say like probably like 10% are like ginger.
Yeah, because I'm ginger. I've got natural streaks of red that go through my hair, but I'm not a flaming redhead. But I've got all the other characteristics of being a
Yeah.
ginger.
Well, when I was younger, I was really ginger, and it's funny because my nan, she's from Scotland, and so she's ginger. Um, but none of my uncles or my mum wasn't ginger, and then obviously my mum gave birth to me. I'm ginger. My uncles, just took the piss a little bit, when I was younger, and then um, now one of my uncles has 3 ginger kids.
Well, do you know technically it's a recessive gene? Same with
Yeah, yeah.
the hazel eyes, blue or green eyes. But what's funny is my dad has brown eyes. My mom has the one who carries the ginger gene
All right.
because her father is basically the majority of his heritage is Scottish,
Okay. All right.
and her mom has a good portion that's Irish. And so all three of us kids ended up basically being gingers with hazel eyes.
We're gonna have to like some campaign to like stop discrimination against gingers. You know, it's wrong. Sick
No,
of
but
it.
we steal souls. We feed on the souls of everybody else. That is a superpower, Gary.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Um,
Gonna eat everyone's souls.
well, let's talk about actual food a little bit more. I mean, I've given you shit for your pot of noodles, so score one for me, although it didn't necessarily work. Um, so, like, okay, so typical food here, like, we have a metric butt ton of fast food places.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's like a million of them all over the place. Are fast food places like super common there? Is it more common to like eat some fast food or actually make a home cooked meal of some sort?
Well, when I was growing up, it was always my mum always cooked something. It wasn't it wasn't, you know, by scratch, you know. It was always like, you know, she'd gone to the shop and bought, like, let's say a pack of sausages or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah,
then
no,
and then
like
and
you
then,
know,
and
make
then, and then
yourself some fresh veggies as a side. You have your meat, whatever it might be, cooked up, whether it's a roast or something.
but yeah, like, but to take, like, we used to get like chippy every like Friday or something like that. That's what we'd do. But these days, it does seem like more people do, you know, order at takeaways and stuff like that. That's mainly because of, like, you know, the internet and stuff, like with apps and stuff like that. But
That's true.
but over here, like in my little town, you've got like, it's mainly you got like a load of takeaways on one road, for example.
Well, it's just probably the zoning areas for where they're allowed to build those. Because here we have like you got your industrial zone, you have a commercial zone, and then you have a residential zone. And so it's mapped out that okay, if this is a commercial zone, this is where you can have your businesses to be licensed. You can't have a business in a residential zone.
Well, that must be different though, because it must be different over here though, because down the road, so where I live, you take a left, you go down the road, and then you get onto a main road, and then you take a left again. You go down about half a mile, and then from there, you've got like 10 to 15 different like takeaways jotted on like either side of the road, but like behind them takeaways and like there is housing and
Oh,
stuff like that.
there's same here because like I'm only like a block and a half off the main road or one of the main roads going through my town. So you'll have like the all the buildings that are facing the main road. Those can all be commercial, like businesses. But the other half of the block that's behind it can be housing.
Like, for example, there's a takeaway, and then across the road there's a shop, and then literally right next door to the shop is someone's house.
Okay. Well, I mean, they probably have different zoning rights because I mean, here the zoning rights are based on the county that you live in, and not necessarily the whole state or country.
Okay, all right.
But
Yeah,
no, because I don't know what where I read it, but you know, there's other European countries where like because American portions like we're known for being overweight and big, and that's because cheap food is so easily accessible. It's not very good for you, but it's more affordable. Whereas there was some other European countries that they'll eat smaller portions, but they'll actually have fresher food and actually make it so it tastes good, so you sit and enjoy a meal. Whereas we just sit here and we eat in front of our computers or our TVs.
okay.
And I didn't know if that's something that's common over there yet, or if it's moving over to the fast business world and kids don't
I,
know how to cook.
um, I think it's getting a bit more common. Well, when I was younger, when when my tea was ready, my mum had you know, come to the front door. She'd shout us all in. You know, we'd come in, and then we'd all sit in the front room. And but I mean, we didn't have to like turn the telly off or anything like that. You know, the telly would still be on. But you know, like me, my brother, and my sister would be sat on the couch, and my mum and dad would be sat in their chair, and we'd all be eating our dinner. But whereas nowadays, like, I won't, like for example, when I eat, I'll usually just make something myself and just bring it upstairs or something like that and just eat it.
Yeah, Lullaby's saying that it's more common for people to have takeaway now, compared to when she was young. And I think the same goes for me too. Like, yeah, fast food places were everywhere when I was a kid, but a lot more have gone up since. But it was more common to have like a sit down meal with your family when I was growing up. Um,
Yeah. That well, yeah, definitely for me, as well. Like I said, like we'd have chippy like once a week, Whereas these days it does seem like most other people are like ordering out or something like that, and instead of actually making it themselves or something.
so is tea just another way of saying dinner?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because I had it for some reason. I had in my mind like tea was like just after school time. Maybe about 5 o'clock. Where you have tea and like a biscuit or something to tide you over
But
until your main
depending
meal.
depending on where you're from in England, some
Oh,
people will say um, breakfast, dinner. So you'll have your breakfast, then you'll have your dinner, then you'll have your tea. And then some other places will say you'll have your breakfast, and then I think I'm not 100% sure. I think they said you'll have your lunch and then your dinner.
okay. Well, because I mean, tea being a mealtime of some sort, and like that's a concept that we're used to, but there's a lot of misconceptions about what it actually is. For us, it gets more portrayed as um, like a coffee break.
Okay. I think the reason I call it tea time is from when I was younger. Obviously, I'd have breakfast before school, and then halfway through school, it was dinner time, so you had your dinner, and then when I got home, my mum would make my tea.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She'd make so you'd have your tea around about 5, 6 o'clock.
All right, sounds about right. Yeah, it's I don't know why I find it so fascinating, but just like the differences in languages and what things get called, just always tickles me.
It it it, it really is strange. Like comparing it to America, like I was saying before, like with accents and you know words that other people don't understand, even though they're only 20 miles away. Whereas 20 miles away over there is basically your next door neighbor.
Yeah, kinda, because I have to get to the next because there's a bunch of smaller towns of maybe 1,000 or two in between me and another town. It's common, especially the further north you go in my state. It's common to have to drive a half hour to 40 minutes just to go to the next town. That's anywhere from 50 to 70 miles.
Can you get everything you need in your
No.
where you live? No, so there's certain things that you need where you have to drive out of town.
Order from Amazon. Like so we have ferrets, which is obviously that's where ferret's name came from.
Yeah.
And there really isn't a pet supply store here that carries product for ferrets. So I can go to the town that we moved from, which is about 90 miles away, where they have a pet store. And I can get
Uh,
my supplies there, or I can order it from Amazon.
okay then, yeah,
But
because I can like walk 30 minutes down the road, and I'm in the town centre, and you can get everything you need.
I mean, like, because we do have a hardware store here, two of them actually, at least. So I mean, anything that as far as that's concerned, I mean, we can get most of that you need. You can get most of any kind of food supplies you need or anything.
All right.
But like if you need a very specialty kind of item, you're gonna have to go to one of two towns that's just east of here. But that's easily a half hour, 40 minutes.
And that's driving though as well, isn't it?
Yeah, which is another question of mine is transportation. Here it's common, like, not all school districts do it, but many school districts will include driver's ed as part of your curriculum.
No, we don't. When I was growing up, you had to be 17 years old to drive, and you left school at 16. So you could only start doing driving lessons when you were 17 because you had to get your provisional driving license.
Oh, here you could do it as early as I think as early as 14, but most commonly it's about 15, you're going to turn 16 soon, but even
Okay.
from when I went to school and now it is different. But some school districts don't have it in there, and you have to do it separately, or they'll have a summer school program for it. But
That's probably why America's so big on cars then,
well, it's
because
also
you
space too.
because a lot of people learn to drive in school, whereas a lot of people over here don't. Like two of my uncles uh, don't have. They might know how to drive, but they don't have licenses, and same as me. I don't have a driver's license.
Well, it also depends on, because here public transportation is not a big thing. You have to be in a bigger city to have transportation. We've got cabs here.
Oh
Um,
no, oh no! I can walk down the road 2 minutes, and there's a bus every 10 to 15 minutes going into town.
oh, we don't even have buses.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you live in a larger area too. If I was in a town of your size, we would have a bus system. Um, but even then, like the bus systems, depending on where you're at, they can take a long time. Things are much more spread out, especially in the Midwest. So in order to get anywhere, you would have to drive.
Yeah, because everything's spread out.
Yeah,
You
everything
know.
is so spread out because like you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
have things cramped a lot closer together, and you make more use out of the land that you have. Whereas we just sprawl out all over the fucking place. But I know like down in Madison, which is like 2 hours south of here, it's there's bus systems everywhere, but it's a huge place. You could easily spend 20 minutes driving across town from one end to the other.
All right. Yeah, I mean, 20 minute drive over here. You. I mean, depending on traffic, you could be, actually no, you'd probably still be in the town where I live.
Yeah, but you have a bigger area too. On average, like the towns throughout the rest of Wisconsin are about the size of mine or smaller. But even then, things are spread out. They don't really have public transportation systems like you do. And even if we do, like a 20-minute drive around across town, you'd be looking at 2 hours or more on a bus trying to get there and having to switch buses.
Your cars as well are just your roads as well, and your cars and everything. They're just so much bigger. There's a person who lives up the road from me on a different street, and he's got like this American Ford pickup truck thing, but it's pretty fucking big, and and when he comes down the road, he's basically taking most of the road up.
Well, your roads are also smaller too. They were built on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
designs from when carriages were a thing.
Well, I remember when I went to America when I was like 13 years old, and when we were on the bus going to the hotel, I was looking at the roads and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Why do they need to be so fucking big? Holy shit!
Because our vehicles are big. Like, to me, because like even when it comes to electronics, I'm like, go with what you need, not what you want. I honestly think that some people overcompensate with their bigger vehicles and everything, but in some cases, especially if you work on a farm or something, you need a pickup because you're always hauling a ton of shit in the back of your truck. SUVs are very common up here because SUVs actually handle better in the snow, and like I said, we get 6-8 inches of snow. Your business isn't closing because it's considered regular weather. You better be driving your ass to work.
Oh really?
I
All right.
I have plowed it. We got 8 inches of snow one night, and this is back when I lived in our other town about 40 minutes away. And there's 8 inches of snow on the ground. I have this tiny little HHR, and I'm plowing the road with the front of my bumper to get to work. But
What the hell's that?
what?
What's a HHR?
An HHR? Do you know what like a PT Cruiser is?
No.
Okay, I'll send you a picture sometime. But it's a small little SUV. It's a tinier car, so it's more fuel efficient. Like I even have problems sitting in there, and I'm not tall.
Is it a Chevy? Is it a Chevrolet?
Yeah, it's a Chevy.
Oh, right, I see it. All right, I see what it is. Oh, all right.
T says it's like a London cab. But Lola B is saying that in her school that they actually had cycling proficiency classes at school. Is that something that you had?
No, not when I was a kid, but I do see a lot of schools doing it nowadays, though.
Oh yeah, Keji, that's what Bronze was saying is you know, half an inch of snow and everything shuts down.
Yeah, it does. It does. But yeah, when I was a kid, you didn't know there wasn't any like cycling classes or anything like that. But these days, you do see that a lot. Well, a lot more.
Well, Shinny's saying like Gary laughs. I had to go to school in winter when snow got up to my hips, and you know what? Shinny and I probably have more in common weather-wise than I do with you because
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It seems kind of bullshit because when I was younger, everything seemed to run fine, and I had to go to school no matter what. Whereas these days, all of a sudden everything stops,
well,
and
I think it's because all over the world we're experiencing a lot more weather extremes. Because like, oh, global warming, and they make fun of it in the middle of winter because during winter we're actually getting a lot colder than we used to, and in the summer we're getting a lot hotter than we used to. With everything so spread out, like it's very common for at least a good quarter of your students to live outside of city limits. And so they bus them in. When it gets super cold out like that outside, it's very dangerous to bring them in
what in
because,
schools?
huh?
What schools? Well, you have a lot of like kids from outside city limits going to
Yeah,
the
people.
school. You
A
mean?
lot of people live in the country, basically.
Like in the town in the town that I live in, there's like 10+ primary schools. There's like I don't know, probably the same high schools.
And so, for reference, like primary school for you is what we'd label as grade school or junior high. All right.
So,
High
so,
school for you is your last couple of grades.
what do you have? You have like
Well, we have okay. So you have kindergarten, which is your
okay,
very first grade that you're in, and then
okay.
you have grade school, which is one. Depending on where you're at, it's usually
Are
one
these
through
are
six.
these different buildings or in this or like
It depends on where you're at. Some districts, it's all every single grade is all in one building, especially in the smaller areas.
because you've got
Now,
grades.
yeah, and then like where most of the towns that I've lived in, um, kindergarten and grade school is combined into one, and that's going all the way up through your sixth grade year. Seventh and eighth is your junior high, which can be a separate building, and then your high school, which is um, 9 through 12.
Okay. Yeah, so over here, usually, when I was a kid, primary school was what you call it kindergarten, we call it reception. And then you had year one, year two, year three, year four, five, and six.
Okay,
And
that would be our grade school.
that was basically like, that's all in one like big like type building thing, complex or whatever. And then you had high school, which was year seven, year eight, year nine, year 10, and year 11.
Wait, so you don't go year 12?
No,
You lucky
these,
bastard.
although I'm not 100% sure, but so when I was younger, it was you left school at 16. Well, year 11.
Hmm.
But these days, I don't know if it's true or not. I think you stay in school till 17 or 18.
That's what we're staying at now, but I think it also depends because growing up, I was told that you guys are actually in school much longer during the year than we are, packing a lot more into it, so that you'd be getting the same or better education in a shorter amount of time.
We start. Would you mean like do you mean like time wise, like we'd start earlier and finish later or something? Or do you
Yeah,
mean like?
with fewer amount of space in between breaks because so most schools start in here about mid-August, and then they have
Oh
about
wait, your school year starts August.
yes, because that's the fall.
Okay,
Um,
ours starts September.
yeah, ours very beginning of September, last week of August, usually for Wisconsin, but that's due to the tourist industry,
Okay,
where a lot of people come up here to vacation and play out, the last bits of summer, and
right.
a lot of high schoolers work at different places because there's a lot of hiking, camping, fishing. When you get more towards Thanksgiving for us, which is November, you got the hunting season. But so they usually start school right after Labor Day or the weekend of Labor Day.
All right.
Up here, just because it's high tourist traffic and a lot of them work at these places or are helping out their parents who own one. There is a little bit of farming component in there, but harvest season usually isn't until mid-September, I think. It depends on how the weather is for the year, because sometimes September can get really cold and you have an early harvest.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we have. I was looking it up here. We have 3 terms, so we've got like autumn term, spring term, and summer term.
Oh.
So our school year begins on September the 3rd, and then we have like a load of different holidays and stuff like that though. So,
Well, because we'll take a whole 3 month. They'll take we'll have 2 terms. You have your fall winter term and then your spring term, and then
okay.
there's a 3-month break until that's your summer break.
Because what we did is so you start school, and then you might have like a week off. So from like September to December, you might have like a week or 2 off, and then you'll get your Christmas holidays. You know, you'll end school on like December the 20th or something like that, and then you'll go back to school on like January the 5th or something, and then then you're in school from like January to April, and again you have like 1 to 2 weeks off in between, and then you have your Easter holidays. So you finish school on like sometime in it's only like a short period. It's like pretty sure it's like a week or something like that, and then you go back to school. And then you go back to school. I think it's like early April or something like that. You have it. I can't remember when it is. And then you go back to school after Easter, and then finish in I think it's July.
Okay, so you guys are in school quite a bit longer than we are. So Lullaby's saying, you know, primary school is usually about grade 4 to 10 or 11. High school, ages-wise. So age-wise, primary school is 4 to 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And then high school is up to about 13, 14. And then you go into college up to about 16 for your first exams.
Where's she from?
She said she's from England as well.
No, you go college after 16, because
And I could be misreading it too.
Because with me, it was ages 4 to 10 or 11 is primary school. Then high school was ages 11 to 15, 16. And then after that, you went to college or university. I think you had to go to college first, then uni.
Okay. But yeah, you guys, you're done like a year or 2 before we are, because we go to school all the way up till you're 17 or 18, depending on when your birthday lies.
Oh yeah. Because user in. Yeah, use lot had a. Well, it might be the same now though, but use lot did used to have a longer, like you say. We went to 18, whereas we went to 16.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad I'm out of school though. A lot of people say like, oh, I wish I could go back to when I was in school. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to.
I always thought it was shit, me school. I really did.
Well, see, like school, I enjoyed school, but like I didn't enjoy being slammed into lockers and shit. Like I like the simplicity and not having the adult responsibility, but like,
I mean, nothing like that happened. Oh, what the hell?
Your little yappers in the background, are they fighting?
Yeah, they were just fighting with each other.
Well, Keji says Keji is actually going back to uni.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah,
then.
she's been accepted. She's going back to uni. So now, so Croc is asking on the school subject, and Sofa, I did see that. We definitely will visit that one later. So do you attend schools on Saturdays?
Saturdays? What? Who attends school on Saturdays?
It's something. Okay, so it's something that we've heard over in America is that you guys do attend schools on Saturdays as well.
No.
And Red is saying nope.
No, no, you don't go to school on Saturdays. It's Monday to Friday.
I mean, that's just one of those like we have a lot of misconceptions about England, but you guys also probably have a lot of misconceptions about us too.
I think it was like, I'm not 100% sure. I think it was like either 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. or 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. I can't remember.
Oh, for you. Oh, okay.
So that was the school day.
Yeah, ours is usually about 8 to 3. It varies a
Okay.
little bit depending on what district you're part of.
Yeah. Okay.
T says that he had to go to school on Saturdays because he was expressing himself to the T. T has a problem with authority.
I mean,
Saturdays was Saturday detention
oh, okay. No, no.
when you're being a naughty boy.
I mean, my high school did open on Saturdays, but it was only for certain things, like I think certain types of music practice or certain sport practices would, it'd be open on the weekend or Saturday, but no like schooling or anything like that would be going on.
Yeah, sometimes there would be a Saturday event for like sports or something. Usually that or Saturday detention. Like summer school is a thing here. Like if you didn't do well in one of your classes, you'd have to attend summer school to be caught up.
Saturday detention. Who? What? How are they going to make you go to the school?
Um, well, they can't physically force you.
Yeah.
And only in rare cases in very rare cases, police actually get involved to escort. But those are extremely rare cases, and I don't think they do that anymore.
When I used to get detention, it'd be, you get detention for an hour after school, so you'd have to sit in a room for an hour.
Sometimes you'd have to do detention during one of your like if you had a free study hall or something, you could do
Oh yeah,
detention during your study hall.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you'd in my high school, sometimes you'd get detention for dinner time because you'd have.
Oh yes, that's
I
right
think
too.
we used to have like, I think was it 5 or 6 lessons? So we'd have 2 lessons and like a 10-minute break, and then maybe a lesson, and then dinner time, and then 2 lessons, and then home time.
Okay, so that's what, yeah, truancy officers. I don't think they're as common anymore, but like if you're truant, if you're late to class or skipping classes or something, truancy officers, which are actual law enforcement officers, can escort you to these places. And even if you manage to evade them enough, then you can get expelled from school entirely.
I mean, I don't think there was any people. I don't think there was anyone employed by the school who was able to physically, take you back to school. But
Oh, they
um,
weren't employed by
but,
the school. They were
but
employed by your local police force.
yeah, basically, all right, yeah, yeah. So if a cop caught you, if a cop caught me, truanting, I can't remember what I used to call it. Oh, what did we used to call? What did we used to call it? I can't remember. We used to call it something. But yeah, so when because I used to do it. I did it a lot in year 10. What I'd call it.
Oh, you're being naughty boy and skipping school?
Yeah, yeah, in year 10, and yeah, if
Bunking?
you yeah, no, we didn't used to call it bunking. I can't remember what we used to call it. But yeah, if a cop saw you, they'd take you back to school.
Lullaby says detention does not mean shit anymore because schools are too soft on the kids now. I don't blame them because teachers don't have the respect from the kids like we gave them when I was young. And that is very true, even
Skiving,
here.
skiving. That's
Oh,
what we used
yeah.
to call it. We used to
Red
call it
just put that
skiving.
in there too. And the thing is because like I remember as a kid, a teacher could grab you by the arm and drag you somewhere. But now you can't because then the child calls abuse and everything else. But I mean, I mean, a kid could be throwing a complete tantrum and throwing desks around the room, and you're not allowed to touch the kid. And it's stupid because
Yeah,
then you could
yeah,
face a
no,
lawsuit.
yeah. I know what you mean. Well, the thing is with like the lawsuit part. I mean, over here they probably won't face a lawsuit. They might, I don't know, I mean, they might face like potential criminal charges or something like, or just lose a job. But use lot are just so sue. I'll sue you for anything. You think of it, I can
Hmm.
sue you for it.
Like, honestly, like, because my mom's ran into it where a kid was throwing a desk around. And the most that they can do is they can get behind the kid and they could put their hands up underneath their armpits on either side of them, lift them up off the ground just enough so their toes are still touching, but they have to focus on balance. They can't restrain the kid. They can't hit the kid. They can't do anything to subdue them, you know, because teachers just get us in such up in arms and everything else. They pile more and more responsibility on the teachers and give them less means to carry it out. But that's probably a rant for another day.
I mean, like when I was in school, if you was being a dick or something like that, and you know, let's say you wouldn't get out of the room or something, and you you being a real disturbance. I mean, a teacher, I don't know if they can I don't know if they can legally do it, but I mean, I've had it done to me, and so fucking what? I was being a dick. You know, that should happen. He grabbed me by the arm, and dragged me out of the fucking dragged me out of the room.
You could back then, because we actually respected teachers back then, and just for chat's reference, Bronze and I are only a couple years apart, so different country aside, it seems like there's a lot of similarities in how we treated our teachers, because you were supposed to respect your teachers. It was always Mr., Mrs., or Miss.
Yeah, because
if your teacher said you were doing bad in school and they told your parents that, you were in trouble. Now, if a teacher says that you're doing bad in school, the parents are like, well, why aren't you teaching my children?
Yeah, no, yeah. These days, it seems like parents expect teachers to teach them everything, whereas you're a parent, do your fucking job. You need to teach them some shit as well as fucking manners.
Yeah, and there's no manners, and that's a multifaceted issue. I mean, some of it's just because the parents weren't taught that growing up or don't care. Some of it's because the parents are too busy working 2 full-time jobs to try and keep up.
I always remember when I was younger, if my mum said something to me, I'd go, what? She'd give me a little slap around the back of the head and say, don't say that, you say excuse me.
You can't do that anymore. That's child abuse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's stupid.
It is stupid because I'm for physical discipline when it is warranted.
Yeah, give him a smack on the ass or something like that.
Right, when it's warranted. And it depends on the kid too, because for me, you could just talk to me like an adult through it. Only on rare occasions would I actually need a good smack. But then there's other kids where they don't respond to anything but a smack. And then there's other kids where there's an underlying psychological problem.
It used to do me head in when I was a kid. Fucking, because we lived in a 3-bedroom. So me and my brother would be in one room, my mum and dad would be in the other, and my sister being in her room. And let's say we're messing about as kids and that lot. We're being naughty. My mum or my dad comes upstairs, and they start shouting at us. When they're shouting at us, my sister'd start bawling her eyes out and that lot, and then they'd start shouting at me and my brother. But because my sister's already been bawling her eyes out, we're the ones who get smacks on the ass. Whereas she gets put to bed, where she's like, "All right, you get back to bed," and then we get the smacks on her ass, and we're like, "Get back to bed." Like, what about her? Bullshit.
Well, that's the whole thing when it comes to differences, because it used to be like smack on the ass was the only way to go, which I don't agree with. But on the same note, I think there needs to be more of it for some of these kids, because they get so cocky, like, well, you can't do anything to me. Like, I literally was in Walmart the other day, and there was this little 4-year-old throwing a tantrum, screaming on the top of her lungs, stomping around. And I mean, I'm post-migraine at this point, so my head is very sensitive to these loud, shrill noises. And I'm just shut that fucking kid up.
I'm giving her a smack on the hand. I swear, if my kid's doing that, I'm gonna have to give her a smack on the hand. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, smack on the hand, yeah. But I mean, what this father did, he was trying to keep his composure in the middle of the store because everyone's staring at him. But it's just like, I'm gonna take your tablet away if you don't stop this. What? I wanted to freak out. Like, what? You're going to oh my God, heaven forbid, you're going to take her tablet away. Give her a good smacking on the ass, escort her out of the store, sit in the car with her until mom's done doing the shopping.
Yeah, that's
then no toys at all.
That's what mum used to say. I'll take you to the car. I'll take you to the car if you carry on.
Yeah, you don't get the because as a kid going to the store with your parents is cool because you get to see all these things. You know, you're little, you got big eyes, you know, and you take that away from them. You
I was,
know,
I was saying, just you wait till we get home. Just you wait till we get home.
oh, I hated that.
You're like,
Just wait, because you're
shit.
like, you know, oh God, they're gonna hit me because my mom had arthritis, so
Right.
she couldn't use her hand for discipline. She'd get the pizza paddle.
I used to always love because on the 6 week holidays, what you call it the summer holidays. When I was younger, we used to call it the 6 week holidays,
Hmm.
and I used to visit my auntie for like maybe 2 weeks or something like that. And whenever I used to love it because whenever we were naughty, and she'd have to give us a smack. She was the shittest smacker ever.
Not very hard.
We had to play it up like like, oh, shit, all right,
Hey,
nice.
can you make that noise again?
No. And we'd be like, "Oh, all right, got off lightly here, nice.
I do think there needs to be more of that though, because I think the kids are just getting way too cocky, way too entitled. Because then you got a million Karens running around now.
I think
You guys get Karens over there, right?
oh yeah, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't really ran into one in a long time.
I've never ran into a Karen myself. I think my mom finally had her first encounter with a Karen not long ago. But like we personally haven't really run into a lot of them. But like social media, especially now, is just showing them left and right.
Well, where I live, it's what they call a council estate. So growing up, everyone was like, no one was like that Karen, like a Karen. It was on the estate that I grew up. It's got like a drinking culture basically, and like so everyone knows each other, and they'll go around to each other's houses and
Mhm.
like have house parties and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit different. I think that's why I've never. And then it's like, uh, I'm obviously not proud of it, but a lot of like illegal stuff does go on like the estate that I live on. So yeah, you got that side of it as well. So you don't really have many like Karen type people, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, with where Keji was working, I think Keji's is done with that job now. But she worked at eyeglass. Like I'm forgetting the word for it. People go optometrists, like, and you can buy your glasses there and everything too.
Right.
So she'd have people coming in for their glasses and everything, and she would just get a million Karens that go in there.
Oh right.
Oh, and Sofa did clip your playing up the smack, so that's now
God. Oh God.
that's now snapshotted forever.
Well, actually, I think I might be lying, because you would every now and then, you'd kick the ball into like, you kick your football into like some old lady's garden. You'd be like,
Oh yeah,
oh shit. Right,
right?
you go in there and get it.
No, you go
I
get
don't
it.
want. I don't want to go in mad at me. You go in there and get it, and then sometimes they'd come out. I'm gonna pop your ball. I'm gonna get a knife. I'm gonna pop the ball. Please don't. And then we'd have to send someone to jump over the bushes and get the ball, kick it out, and then jump out.
Yeah, try and get him out of there before she comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because Lullaby's saying just wait until we get home. Like all mom has to do is whisper that into your ears. Just wait till we get home. Oh God, that was the worst. But like you can't get by with that now because like other people are like, oh, that's abuse. That's abuse. It's fucking stupid.
We do live in a very soft world.
But I mean, I do get where it stemmed from, because there was a time where there was a fair amount of child abuse going on where that kind of discipline wasn't necessarily warranted, or it would go beyond discipline.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there's got to be a
100%.
happy medium somewhere, because you got to be able to discipline your child somehow. And
Like,
if
to be
talking
honest,
doesn't work, if timeouts don't work, you got to do something.
me personally, I think a happy medium is, like I used to get a smack on the ass with a slipper.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think that's a happy medium. Whereas, for example, my uncles or my mum, they'd get a belt. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've had a
I think
belt.
like,
I've had a belt. I've
but
had a
but
pizza
but,
paddle. My dad's working hands. Yeah.
with with the metal and shit like that.
Oh, the metal part never got used, but that does
Yeah,
happen
no.
to kids too. And like, it to me, it needs to be firm enough so it reinforces the hey, that's not okay, but not so firm that it creates psychological issues.
Yeah, exactly. So like I was looking back now. I think me getting the slipper
Oh
and
my
stuff
god,
like
Red.
that. Put put some respect in.
Red,
What are they doing? You laughing at them?
Red. Okay, so Red, I think sums it up perfectly for how kids are now. You'll probably agree with this. It's at the point where mom says, "Just wait till we get home," and the kid can now answer back like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
I think Red nails
That's
it.
true. That's true. No, it is. She nailed it right on the head. Can't put it any other way.
So I mean, and that's the other funny thing too is just like for being having this huge ocean between us. There's a lot of similarities, probably as many similarities as there are differences between our countries.
I think the reason we're so similar is because we share a language. I think that's and obviously because we did,
Well, we did fight
go
you
go up.
for our freedom.
Yeah, exactly. So there's obviously that, and obviously like we share a language. So yeah.
I'm Bronze agreed with me. I'm leaving now. Ew.
Oh god, yeah, no, I did agree with that. Fuck. Can I take that back, please?
Oh no, this is being recorded. You're live.
No. Can we like delete the VOD and all that stuff and everything?
Hate to break it to you, but this is gonna go on YouTube as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah, T added into what Red's statement as while they wave the cell phone at their parent because like
Yeah, just like yeah. I've got child line on speed dial. Oh, do you want me to ring it? But
so stupid.
when I was a kid, I didn't have a phone until I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah, I didn't have one until I had to buy mine. Um, at my first job when I was 17.
I don't think kids. I don't think kids should own phones.
No, I don't think so. Like, I mean, if you live in a bigger area and because I think they try to put the reins on kids too much now, where a child plan, like, okay, you have like these 5 numbers that are pre-programmed into your phone, like to call mom, dad, or an uncle, for a ride or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's more common now to have no landline and have just a cell phone because it's also cheaper that way.
Yeah. I don't have a landline anymore.
So, I mean, if you want to let your kid learn some independence and everything else and just go play, not be stuck inside, like having a little child cell phone for that. But I mean, I'm thinking when you're like 6th grade and beyond, for that,
maybe.
not when they're,
Yeah.
I don't think a 10-year-old walking around with a smartphone is a good idea.
Like me, I think one of the reasons why they probably like, for example,
Hell
like
yeah.
an 8-year-old or something like that doesn't need a phone is because if they are playing out, then in reality they should really only you should be keeping your eye on them, one, and two, they should only really be playing on the
On their
street.
block, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Red says, make walkie-talkies cool again.
Fuck Yeah,
I loved walkie-talkies as a kid.
I never had them as a kid. I always wanted them, but I never had them. I just can't believe I agreed with Red.
I know. Okay, guys, mark your calendars. This is the day, probably the only day, that Bronze and Red have agreed.
I'm just gonna have to disagree with everything she says now from now on, even
Yeah,
if she's
even
right.
even if she is right.
Mm-hmm.
So what about traditions over there? Like, we have our different holidays. Like we have Christmas, and so do you guys. Like, and we have Thanksgiving. Do you guys have anything like a Thanksgiving or different kind of holiday that might be different from here?
Not really, but I think it's just like there's a lot of different.
Well, like what holidays would you get out of school or work for?
Oh, I can't really remember. Let me have a quick look. I have to have a quick look because I know there's. I know there's a lot.
Because I mean, like we've got Easter, of course. We get we get time for. Same with Christmas and Thanksgiving.
And to be honest, it depends on where you work if you actually get off on certain days. Because what they'll do is they'll just pay someone like double time or something like that.
Well, yeah, the same goes here because there's a lot of like, especially like grocery store chains or like Walmart, which is, well, you know what a Walmart is, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so like a Walmart or a larger grocery store, for the most part, they'll stay open during the holidays. I mean, they might have like Christmas Day off, or they might close early on Christmas Day. But so we'll have nationally recognized holidays, and I think there's about 5 of them where if you work on that day, it's like a time and a half. You know, but depending on where you're at too, like there was back when I worked as a software developer, you know, Columbus Day, schools would be out of session for that, so we were software for school districts, so we'd have the day off too. But it wasn't a federally recognized holiday.
Because we call them bank holidays, us.
Brett says 5th of November for blowing up Parliament.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose. Remember the 5th of November. I remember being taught that in school.
Oh, we were too.
Bonfire night.
Oh God, yeah, you guys agreed again. Holy shit.
Oh,
Gary, your promise.
Fuck's sake. Oh my God.
But we have other traditions like well, I didn't hear about it where I was growing up in Illinois, but when I moved up to northern Wisconsin, your golden birthday was considered like a good reason to celebrate. You know, not anything to get out of school or work for.
What's your golden birthday?
Okay, so it's the year that the day of your birthday and your year that you were turning match. So let's say you were born on the 15th of a month and you're turning 15. That's a golden birthday. So your golden birthday only happens once in your lifetime.
Oh, so I'm past my golden birthday.
Yeah. I didn't hear about golden birthdays until after I'd passed mine.
Yeah, thanks for you know the good news, I suppose.
You're getting old, Gary.
Damn, I didn't realise. I don't feel old. It's weird because I really don't. Some days I think I'm 21 again or something.
I know. I feel like there are many days like I feel old, and especially if I look in the mirror. I'm sprouting a ton of gray hair, but other days it feels like high school was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, it really does.
And I'm coming up on my 20th anniversary of my graduation.
But I'll be honest to you. Still to this day, it feels like high school took forever. Whereas ever since I got out of high school, it's just gone like, boom. I'm like, where did that go?
Right. But like here, like, what's the legal drinking age there? Isn't it 18?
Yeah. Yep. It's 18.
All right, because here it's 21. So your 21st birthday is go out, party, do the bar crawl or anything. Do you guys do that for yours, for your 18th?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I certainly fucking did. Holy shit.
Do you even remember it?
The only part I remember is because it was my 18th, and my mum and dad wanted to celebrate with me, so I went out a bit earlier than I went out at like 5 o'clock and stayed with them till like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, and then yeah, I don't know what happened.
Got a little too drunk.
Something like that. You can say that. But yeah, is it 21 everywhere in America?
Yes. Now it didn't used to be standardized like that across the board. Some of my older friends remember when 18 used to be the legal drinking age in Wisconsin.
I don't understand why drinking is like 21 though, when everything else is so much
is 18.
younger. Yeah.
Well, the drinking laws are different depending on the state you're from, because like in Wisconsin, your legal guardian or the person who's legally responsible for you can go to a bar and give that kid a drink.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have to be within eyeshot. You have to be keeping track of them the whole time and everything. But you go to the state just south of here where I grew up, that was taboo. You do not do that. It is against the law. But the legal drinking on your own age, buy your own alcohol, it's 21. And I think they changed it
Yeah.
because they're thinking, oh, well, they need to learn responsibility with this and mature a little bit more. And like drunken car accidents are still a huge deal. But I mean, the legal drinking age doesn't stop it, because underage drinking, especially when there's so little to do over here in the rural areas.
So over here, it's a bit different. Like, say you go to a pub or something like that, and you get a meal, then the child, I think if they're over like 14, they're allowed an alcoholic beer or something like that
Are,
with the meal.
does their parent or whoever's their
Yeah,
guardian of the
yeah,
night
yeah,
have
yeah,
to be with them?
yeah, yes. Someone, so like the parent or something like that has to, be with them and bought the meal or something like that. But also, when it comes to home, you're legally allowed to drink at home from, I think it's like the age of like 6 or some shit like that.
Oh,
In your
geez.
in your own home though, with you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what some parents still do up here. Like the cool parents, or what we consider the cool parents, like, they know the underage drinking is going to happen anyway. So if the friends were over having a drink, they'd have to have like a written note or something from their parents to stay over saying that, okay, yeah, we know there is going to be drinking here, but the kids are not going to be allowed to leave. They're going to be heavily supervised. They're not going anywhere.
I don't know if you'd be allowed to give someone else's kid alcohol, but
No, it's not legal.
but you could give but legally you could give your own child
Oh,
alcohol.
yeah. No, little sleepovers like that were not, they're not legal. But they know that the underage drinking was going to happen anyway, so they were trying to
All right,
provide
yeah,
a
yeah.
safe environment for them to do it in.
Oh, okay, yeah. When I was younger and I used to drink, we did it on the streets. We were kind of naughty. I was kind of naughty growing up.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
so T's given me a little bit of history lesson here. So federal government highway funding is only available in states that have a 21 age for legal drinking. And so that's what brought about the change. Because for a while there, Wisconsin was 18, but Illinois was 21.
Wait, explain that again. Why did they change?
Okay, so the federal system provides funding for like major highways
Oh,
and
okay.
everything, and interstates. And so,
Okay.
in order to qualify for the funding, they have to have a legal drinking age of 21.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's
Okay,
why it
then.
got changed, which would make sense because you need that federal funding. Because I mean, I don't know, our roads are shit. They're getting better, but they're shit.
Oh yeah, our roads are crap as well. There's potholes everywhere. I remember. I can't remember what it might have been like a little video or something like that where some pothole wasn't getting done or outside this guy's house, and then next thing you know he spray painted like a dick around it, and
Oh
then
my
like
god.
and then like within like a few days it was it was covered up and all that lot, and it was sorted out.
All right. So Sofa has a question from earlier. So
Mhm.
talking about media, is it more laxed or restricted in England? So as far as what kind of, so on your, I don't know if it would be like your regular cable TV or local TV, how is cursing allowed, or the laws and regulations against that,
I
or
think
lewd
I think
commentary?
we have what's called the watershed. After the watershed, you're allowed like swearing on TV, but before that you're not really allowed it.
Okay, so the watershed, what are you talking about?
I don't know exactly what it is, but that's what I've always been told.
Was
It's
it like a
like
certain event or something
it's
that happened, or is
no,
it a time?
it's like after 9 o'clock or something like that. One night.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, yep. It's about 9 o'clock or after. And I think the same thing goes here. It also depends on the station that you have, too, because I mean, now we have all these different bundles and packages and different kind of stations, but then you also have your local channels. So channels like ABC.
Here we go. Here it is. According to Ofcom, the watershed for free-to-air television in the UK is at 2100 9 p.m. and material unsuitable for children should not, in general, be shown before that time.
That's how it
Oh,
was. I think they've gotten a lot more lax because I'm hearing more and more swearing and seeing more and more nudity before 9 p.m. in the States. But
okay.
a lot of
Alright.
people turn to streaming services now versus because a lot of popular channels like HBO will do and ABC do streaming services now because they
Well,
have the regular station, but
yeah, yeah.
people
When I
try to catch things when they want to catch things rather than when they air.
Yeah, because when I was younger, me, I used to watch everything just on TV. I watch TV, but
Same.
but nowadays, I don't know when the last time I don't know the last time I just watched normal telly.
Oh, same. We don't even have it. We have our because your cable station that you go through where you get your internet. You know, normally they try to encourage you to bundle up your landline and all these different packages for TV stations and everything, and like fuck that.
Oh,
We've got
right,
our
yeah, yeah,
internet. That's it. Because we'll get our streaming services for whatever we want. So, I think it's a bit more like even though there might be TV regulations still, I think they're becoming more lax because streaming services are more popular. But I remember as a kid, it was like 9 o'clock and after as well here.
yeah, yeah. So it's like from 9 p.m. at night till 5:30 in the morning.
Exactly, Lullaby.
That's what it is.
Okay, Red's saying that they also have a program over there called Naked Attraction. I think that'll answer all of your questions. Gary, do you know what Naked Attraction is?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I didn't really watch it. I didn't. Yeah, no, I
Okay,
didn't watch
it's
it.
a controversial dating
It's
series.
yeah. It's basically like a dating game on telly. I didn't yeah, no, I didn't.
I gotta read this out
I didn't
for
watch it. Me.
anybody who's just listening in. It's a controversial dating series in which people see potential interests whose naked bodies are gradually revealed to them.
Yeah, so the only dating show I watched growing up was Blind Date by Cilla Black.
Oh, and then the person has to get naked themselves and choose. Oh my god. I'm get that's got to be a 9 p.m. and after show.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't watch that. Me, I wasn't. Fuck that.
Oh, come on. That'd be like I heard Ferret talking with the guys the other day where it's just like in the 90s, watching like, looking at the underwear section of a catalog or something or anything that just showed somebody's
Oh,
titty
right,
was a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
deal. It's like free porn.
How times have changed, huh?
Oh my god, yeah. Now you got Pornhub and shit all over the place.
But yeah, that's I didn't really watch the one. One I watched was it was called Blind Date. It was by some woman called Cilla Black. It was a bit of like an older one though. That
Okay, so apparently Red saw a penis and noped out when watching the show. So I gotta ask, Red, how old were you when you saw that? Oh yeah, and Noam's saying like Victoria's Secret catalogs, looking at the models in their skimpy underwear.
yeah, you'd be like, oh, I'll take this with me. Internet wasn't a thing back then, was it?
No, it wasn't because because I lived a mile outside of town. Internet in town wasn't really available. I think we finally got dial up in about I was junior high, so it must have been about 97 that we got dial up. And that old connection sound.
I hated dial-up. I hated
God.
it. I really did.
God,
I think
Farrah
must
added that sound to Go XLR, and he was playing it when you were trying to right before you got this computer.
Oh, all right.
They had
Oh,
three
yeah.
of them surrounding you while you were waiting to
Yes.
wake up, and he was playing that
I
noise
remember
for when
it.
you were trying to connect.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, fucking assholes they are.
Oh yeah, but you love them.
I don't know why I play with them.
I'm telling.
I'm gonna have to kick them all out. I'm gonna perma them all.
No, you ain't going permanent. What would you do without your chaplain? You'd have to deal with the issues yourself.
I'd have to become chaplain again.
Nobody
No,
wants that.
I'll just let everyone do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's okay. That's not a good idea.
We don't need Al.
Oh, Oh, I'm gonna make you eat those words. Chat, defend Al. Come on, defend Al. We need our chaplain. Gary's just gonna tell you to suck it up, grow some balls, and walk it off. I mean, that's not
Yeah,
being
probably.
chaplain.
Probably that's probably what I would have done.
That's why you're not chaplain.
I can't. I'm honestly, I don't remember any chaplain duties that I did. I can't remember. I think.
Maybe it's because you didn't do any.
I don't think I did.
Ooh. I was trying to take a jab at you. I didn't know it'd be true.
Yeah, no, I don't think I did. To be honest.
And it's Gnome's asking, was I too afraid to ask Gary for a picture? And no, Gary and I were talking about a picture, but Lucky Misfit made this beautiful little image of Gary as a practical joke, and it's stuck.
Yeah, I ain't revealing myself.
Well, I wasn't
I'm gonna be mysterious and all that stuff.
Oh no, I was asking you for a picture of your character.
Yeah,
on GTA, because that's where everybody knows you as. So I was going to use that. I'm not going to ask you for your
with a little iconic helmet.
I'm depicted here as a moose, for Pete's sake. I mean, I'm not asking you for a face reveal. He says no of your character, you knob.
Wow, fucking hell. So aggressive.
Oh, and Wolf's in here. Wolf's calling you out because he says Gary never did any chaplain duties. So Wolf's calling you out right there.
I mean, Sam's right. He's probably right. Holy shit.
So okay, so that you can't be chaplain because you don't do jack shit.
I mean, fuck it. We don't need a chaplain. I'll be honest with you. The only reason I took chaplain in the first place is because some people call a chaplain the wise one. I thought, oh, the wise one. That sounds good.
Okay, that wise definitely one. Does not fit you. I love you, Gary, but no.
That definitely fits me. I don't know what you're on about.
Just have another joint.
I'm the wisest of them all.
I don't know. You'd have to keep all those prospects in line and everything, and I don't know if you're up to it.
Oh, fuck the prospects. I can't deal with prospects. All right. I take everything back. Al's great. I actually like Al. He's all right now.
All right, somebody please clip that. That's getting clipped and posted into the Lost Discord. I'm doing it.
we need someone to take care of him. It's definitely not going to be me.
Nope. But that takes a lot of patience too, though, and the different angles of how is it best to work with this prospect, because people are different. Beating the fuck out of one might work for one.
Like, I love the way Al and Kat have been treating these prospects. Like they'll take, like I think last night Kat took because Floki and Sasa she took fucking Sasa and Floki to the side, and she had
I heard something about prospect talks.
Yeah, for like 40 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, to me, because like I don't catch as much of it as I'd like to, because all the stuff that happens in the morning, I'm working. So, and work's been terribly busy, but I catch it when I can. But it seems like Sasa really looks up to Kat, because the Kat is such a strong, independent woman. Because like beatdowns, Sasa needs to endure her share of beatdowns just as a prospect, but I think overall getting through to her, talk is better. Floki probably needs a couple beatdowns.
Well, I think with it being a game as well, obviously in real life they probably wouldn't get fucking beat down as much as fucking.
Oh God, no.
As they do. Otherwise they'd be dead. But yeah, I think it's just like a little, just to have fun and stuff like that. Especially nowadays, it's even better because the crowbar only knocks you out, so we can beat the prospects up as much as we want.
I love that they added that.
It's so cool.
All right, so instead of me taking jabs at you in your country, we take a couple at America. It's super easy. So, what are some of the weird things or what you might find weird about what we do in America? Whether it's from food, certain way we talk about things, to holidays or whatever.
I mean, just the way you like. The way you pronounce certain things, and like data, you say data. Aluminium, you say aluminum.
Because it's aluminum, bitch. No, I'm kidding.
It's not. And you're all fucking dopes. Like your education. it's
Well, I can't deny
do
that.
do you actually learn about, do you learn geography and world and history and stuff like that? There's so many Americans who think, for example, that the United Kingdom thing, like
Oh, what we were talking about
yeah,
pre-stream.
yeah,
Yeah, so I like to educate myself about around the world, So I've got your actual flag posted here, but if I would say on the whole, somebody would probably try to post what it's called the Union Jack.
yeah, the Union Jack.
Yeah, they would probably try to put that down as your country.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas I believe they call it the Saint George's Cross. That's what our flag is.
Yeah, that's what it came up as when I
Hmm,
looked at
Yep.
that.
Whereas
'Cause
the UK is basically made up of four countries. It's England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland.
but then you add the Commonwealth into it
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. And then you have the Commonwealth with, like, for example, India used to be in the Commonwealth, and then there's a
Are
lot
they
of
not
countries.
anymore?
No, no, no. They got their independence. And
Okay.
then there's a lot of countries in Africa that used to be in the Commonwealth.
Now, is Australia still in the Commonwealth?
I believe Australia's still in the Commonwealth. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. Because I know that Canada used to as well, but are they completely independent now?
No, I'm pretty sure Canada are part of the Commonwealth as well. Because
Well, because I still see the Queen's face on some of their coinage. So
yeah, because like the Commonwealth is it's a voluntary thing.
yeah, like a
Something like that.
voluntary alliance to help
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other
yeah,
out.
yeah. Because so the Commonwealth is like former territories of the British Empire.
But their governments operate separately from England now, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But they still
But
pull together as a common
it was like
world
an ally.
allies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
I think that's much better because I, your colonialism
There you
brought
go.
a lot of destruction to the world.
I mean, it did, but I mean, there's been a lot of destruction throughout the world.
I can't say Americans are much
Mm.
better, but like the yeah,
I mean,
colonial times were just.
look at the Roman Empire and look at the was it?
What do you think you guys based yourselves on after England got conquered by the Romans? There was a period between when the Romans basically had to bail out because of stuff back at home. Not all of the Romans bailed out, but they had essentially Romanized the people that lived there, and that's how all your shit got structured, and you basically carried on the tradition. And I think there's actually a DNA
Because
thing that shows that there's a huge connection between Roman ancestry and what is now English ancestry.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, it used to be England used to be like made up of like, I don't know, these counties like uh Wessex,
Well, there was
Essex is one. That's still one. Kent,
Essex, Wessex, Mercia,
yeah, Mercia,
Northumberland.
not Northumberland, Northumbria, I think it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, it was Northumbria, which was English, and then it got taken over by the Danes.
Yeah, by the Danelaw or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they fought back over like so many years.
Well, and
I
that's
think I think
where King Alfred came in,
I think it was
and
like
uniting it all into England when England first initially
yeah,
formed.
I think it was like what they consider England today, even though it wasn't like officially England, it's like the mid 900s. That's
Yeah,
when it first like you could say that's England.
yeah, that was through King Alfred's doing. So anybody who watched Vikings, oh no, it was King Athelstan, I think it was.
I can't remember what it was. It was like
It was
Athel something.
it was
It,
Athelstan because
it,
there was a character on the show named Athelstan, which was the grandson of the king of Wessex at the time. Or no, Essex at the time. No, it was
no,
Wessex.
no, no. I was gonna say it was Wessex.
It was Wessex, sorry. But it was the grandson of the king of Wessex at the time. You know, because Merciafel, you know, the
yeah,
great heathen army took over Northumbria.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like it was like Wessex that fought back, you know, and got a lot back basically.
Yeah, now even though borders changed a little bit over the time after that point, but that's essentially what started the first of what we know today as England.
Because you used to have the Picts, which were
Oh yeah,
the Scottish.
Weren't they the Highland Scottish to actually be more precise?
I can't remember if we're being precise. I'm not 100% sure. Just
okay.
I remember them being called the Picts.
Yeah, they were the ones that were known more for the woad and everything, and the Picts never were defeated. I think they just integrated themselves into the Scottish clans.
The thing is, we just learned because I mean we got invaded so many times, so we just learned we did. You know, that's all we knew. Invade. So what do you expect us to do? Come on. Invade.
It was land envy. It's because your island's so tiny.
Damn Vikings and everyone. These goddamn Germanic tribes and everything.
Well, hey, the Vikings are responsible for your red hair.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, because they were the Vikings were Scandinavians, weren't they?
They were.
Also.
It's more of a collection of the different Scandinavian countries. They weren't all just one, and they weren't. Not all of them rated either.
You like Denmark, Norway, Sweden. You know.
Wolf says, "Watch your language, Gary."
Yeah, it's because his fucking people raided me. They raided my people.
Hey, you subjugated my people. What's your problem?
Goddamn Swedes. Well,
half my heritage is Scottish and Irish. You practically enslaved my people and try to take away our culture. Try to take away our tartans, our Gaelic.
Nah, we were just trying to make you live a better life. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Gary's getting shanked after the podcast. I see it now.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to go hide.
Now, T has a little pondering though. Like, countries that are part of the Commonwealth, do they still pay tax to the crown?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know.
I kind of wonder if they all collectively do, and then that money that's in that pool goes to help other the country that needs it in the Commonwealth.
Well, it says that the Commonwealth is a voluntary association of 54 independent and equal countries.
Yeah, I wonder. That is a curiosity, though. I wonder if they do. I wonder if they do pay tax into like a pool or something, and so if a country runs into like a natural disaster or some kind of crisis, that money goes to help them.
I don't know.
And 54 that is quite a lot. I didn't think it was that many. Because we think of the big ones that are out there, but
because I don't even because there's a lot of them that you think, is it like? Let's have a look. Zambia, that's in the in the Commonwealth. Like you wouldn't think that'd be.
No, I figured it would because I know that there was a lot of African colonies.
Oh, so when I was saying India isn't in the Commonwealth, I got it wrong. India is in the Commonwealth. It's just not British owned basically anymore. Because obviously we did used to like so-called own it or whatever.
Oh yeah, you guys. But I mean, I say that, but I also know that America isn't much better with the way we treated the natives here. And then how we treated the Mexicans and basically everybody around us who was different. So I'm not trying to say I'm better than you.
Well, the French and the Spanish as well. Yeah, fuck the French and the Spanish as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, they did that as well.
Yeah, they did it as well. Fuck them as well, especially the French.
Everybody hates the French.
Yeah, no, Americans shouldn't hate the French.
No, we do.
You got help off the French for God's sake.
Yeah, I know. That's
in your treasonous act.
Our treasonous act? You really want to go there, Gary?
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't such pompous bastards, treating us as like your money pit.
Listen, you should be paying less tax right now if you just stayed with us. You guys are taxed through your bloody teeth.
I know.
You might as well pay tax to breathe over there. That's what it seems like. I wonder if they're going to try and do that. Probably tax you to breathe.
Oh,
Probably do it
I
eventually.
think Destiny wants to see a fist fight between the two of us.
No, no.
Well, no, that brings me to something else. Normally we wrap up about now, but we'll go just a hair longer.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
brings us up something else that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Speaking of taxes, your guys' healthcare system is a lot different than ours, and we're taxed a lot. But our healthcare system is still, in my opinion, a piece of shit. What is the healthcare system like for you guys?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's top of the line. I mean, you do have there is obviously private hospitals over here that are top of the line if you've got a lot of money. But I mean, yeah, they're good. I think me personally, I think they're good. They might get the NHS might get a lot of shit, but me personally, I think the NHS does a good job with what it's given because it is underfunded to fuck.
National Healthcare System
Yeah. No, National Healthcare Service.
Service. Okay, I figured it'd be something along that line. Um, well, yeah, because it does take a lot of funding. But do you think for like the average person, it's fine? Because like the average person really doesn't really need to be
Yeah,
seen except maybe a
yeah.
physical once a
Oh,
year.
oh yeah. For the average person, I'd say it's okay.
But if you have specialty needs, do you think that it's not quite up to snuff?
I don't know. No, I'd say it's good because, I mean, if you do have special needs, the government will help you out on that lot, and you don't have to worry about any like insurance payments or anything like that, and you'll get the help that you need.
Yeah, I think that's a more ideal thing because like they've talked about going to that here, but it won't ever go through. I don't think. But we pay through the nose for our healthcare.
Like that's the only thing that worries me with like the American healthcare is like you could you depending on who you are and what circumstances you're in, you could constantly be worried about. Oh, I don't want to go to the hospital because of how much it's going to cost me.
Oh yeah, that's a common thing here.
Whereas over here, it's you can go to the hospital because it's not going to cost you.
Well, I had gallbladder issues for years. I would say upwards of 5 years. I was having gallbladder issues, and I wouldn't go see a doctor for it because I didn't want to pay for the surgery.
All right.
And it got to the point where I couldn't put it off anymore. Now, granted, with insurance, it cost me $2,000.
You had to pay $2,000.
I have to pay $2,000. Now, I've got a medical loan, which is a low interest loan, allowing me to pay back that. But without insurance, it would have been well over 12,000
Oh my god.
for something that I didn't ask for, but is medically necessary.
Oh, I don't understand. One thing I don't understand is why you still have to pay so much, even though you've got insurance.
Well, because insurance helps cover the cost of medical expenses, but it doesn't mean that you're getting it for free. Or not for free, but it doesn't mean that you don't pay anything.
All right.
Insurance, it just helps cover the cost. Most insurances will cover 80% of the cost of something, depending on the plan you have. And of course, insurance, there's multiple
Holy
plans, and the better the plan, the more you pay on a
It's just some of the stories that I've heard. It's like the you're paying like 30 odd grand for like a CAT scan or something like that.
if you're uninsured, yes.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Well, because one of the concerns here is that if we do move towards a healthcare system like yours, the amount of taxes that it would require to get that covered. But you're saying that you get taxed less than we do, and you've got that.
Well, it feels like it. It definitely feels like it. I think.
Because I think we were comparing tax brackets the other day, and I think I paid twice the amount of tax that somebody in your country would for my
All right.
current wage rate.
Like one thing that always puzzled me was, ever since I was young, I always thought it was weird. Like when if you win the lottery over there, you get taxed on it.
You
Whereas,
do.
whereas over here, if you win the what if you let's say you win fucking $1 million on the lot. I mean, £1 million on the lottery. You get £1 million.
No, you have to pay taxes on here. Whenever I would get a bonus from my old job, 40% of it got taxed because it was gifted money from my employer.
Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, yo, hey fella, can you put that back? Can you take that back and give it me in cash, please? Fucking hell.
But the other concern is that if we move to a healthcare system like England has, that our quality of care would go down. Like, what is the quality of care? Would you say there is like?
I mean, that's what you got private. If you want, fucking top of the line fucking care, then go to a private hospital.
But then you're not covered by your national insurance, and you have to pay it for all it cost.
I mean, but that's a private hospital. If you want to go to a public hospital, that's covered by your NHS or whatever. Then you can. But if you do want to go to a private, obviously you're gonna have to pay more because it's fucking private.
Right. Well, let's give an example. Let's say that you fall, you break your leg, and you need surgery.
Yeah.
Do they try
Yeah.
to get you in, within a couple of weeks or so from the break to try to do surgery? Like, they have to wait for like swelling and other shit to go down. So I don't know what the actual time frame is, but
I think it'd be done pretty quickly, like maybe within a day or two.
oh wow, okay. Because like they hear stories from like the
I think.
Canadian system where it's like, oh well, I've been needing a knee replacement for years and they won't get me
Oh,
in.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, a knee replacement's completely different to like a leg break.
So they kind of base it off of medical necessity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How
Yeah. Yeah.
like you would go to an emergency room, they triage you and they treat you, more urgent cases. Like even if you came in for like a sprained wrist, if a more urgent case came in, they'd treat them first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Well, it's kind of what they do here anyway, and people don't realize it. So, but I mean, just the cost of healthcare here is just.
But well. One of the things is, if you go to the hospital here for a sprained wrist or something like that, and you go to A&E, accident and emergency, they'll get you to sign in, and you'll sit down in the waiting room. But let's say you get brought in by, let's say you broke your leg, an ambulance has come out and got you. They ain't going to put you in the waiting room. They're just going to take you through.
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
that depends on because like when my brother and I were wrestling back in high school, I caught my wrist on a weight bench and it sliced open my wrist.
All right.
Luckily it didn't hit anything vital, although it almost did because apparently it was exposed. But
Okay.
but I'm sitting there, halfway in shock, rocking back and forth in my seat in the emergency waiting room, and I'm sitting there having to wait over an hour to get stitched up. But that's because a car accident had come in from the county over that didn't have a hospital, and unfortunately,
Okay.
3 people died.
Oh shit! All right.
Right, but that's the whole thing of priority. Like granted, I was more urgent than somebody saying, "Oh, I've got a sinus infection," but there was somebody's life at stake, so they
Well,
went first.
the thing that bogs our hospitals down a lot is people like. I'll be honest with you. If you've got a sprained ankle or a sprained wrist, you don't need to go to the hospital. Just take some take some weight off it, rest up, and in a few days it'll be all right. If it's serious, I'd say go see your GP. You know, but
I have heard.
don't go down to the accident and emergency because it clogs up with a lot of people like that. That they don't really need, like, the most that they're gonna do for you is put a little bandage on. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I have heard that it is hard to get it's hard to get an appointment in with your GP if you live in a bigger city.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't had an appointment with my GP in fucking years.
Naughty boy. Well,
Years.
I know there was a time Keji wasn't feeling good and it was going to be a couple weeks till they could get her in when it's something that she probably needed just some medicine for now, but you don't want to clog up
Right.
an urgent care with that kind of shit either.
Right. I might not be the right person to ask about appointments for like GPs, so to say, just because I haven't had one in so long. So,
That can be common
but
here
but
too, though.
but
Like, I
but the
don't need to
way,
go.
but I do, but in saying that, I do hear some people say like waiting times for GPs can be a little long.
Well, this probably goes back to the underfunded portion that you mentioned, where they need to provide some
Oh
more
yeah,
regular
oh yeah,
GPs.
it definitely goes back to that, definitely.
All right, so we are at. I usually go for about 2 hours. We're already about at almost in 2 hours and 40 minutes. So
Oh shit, has it been that long,
I
really?
know. Well, we don't get to talk that often, Gary, and I do enjoy
Oh shit.
conversation with you.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize it had been that long.
I know.
I thought it'd only been about an hour.
It time it just has generally flown by.
It really has.
Are there any final jabs you want to get in?
Just that Rudy's an absolute shit driver, basically.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Yeah, just make it be known. Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest with you. In Rudy's defense, the past 2 days, well, the past few days, I've been playing with a new computer.
Yeah, you're no longer on the potato.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, McLovin, Furs, Lucky Misfit, Lucy. You know, everyone in the Lost, and apparently even some of the viewers, or they're just
Oh, and someone from Reed's, I
the,
think, got you the
the,
new motherboard, so you didn't have to wait
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
RMA.
yeah. I can't thank them enough. It's just what they've done is unreal. Like, I, it really is.
The love, okay, so the love of the Lost community is great, and especially here in the Ferret Pen, like we're not a huge community, but the love that we share for each other is really, really strong. We've done a couple different fundraisers for some viewers in need, and the outpouring of love that we've received for them is just undeniable. And I see the same thing with the community for the Lost.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's unreal. Every single one of them. You know, they're just. I can't thank them enough. I really can't. It's like holy shit, holy shit. It's actually like wow.
there really are no words to properly portray the things because shortly after I had started streaming myself, I lost my job, and if it weren't
Right.
for the community of the Ferret Pen, like our computers were dying. It paid for new computers. It helped pay the bills until I could get employment again.
Yeah, yeah.
It kept us afloat. And I've seen it, help others. Like it's fixed Sofa's car. It has given Croc a new computer. After Destiny had her accident, it helped pay for her medical bills. Granted, it can't cover everything, but we've been able to do that for people who have just had these things happen that they need help.
You know, people say humans are dicks, but
In general,
there's some really kind, really kind of nice ones out there. There
most
really is.
people are dicks, and we're dicks to each other in here, but it really is become a close-knit community where, like, yeah, we'll be dicks to each other, but nobody else do that. Like, some stranger from outside of this little circle tries to come in and do that, they'll get attacked hands down. A magical gnome says, "We be fam, yo."
Yeah, we all are fam. It feels like that. Holy shit.
It is. It's just an extremely supportive community. And I mean, I've been watching NoPixel streams on and off for years now. And the communities that watch and are very supportive of anybody in the Lost just seem to be the most chill, the most giving, and the most fun to hang out with.
It's been a wild it's been a wild few years. It's been great. They've all been, like you say, so much fun.
Really has. And I can't wait to see it continue on.
Hopefully, it continues for a long, long time.
Yep. I like everything. It'll change, it'll morph based on what's going on around it. But I mean, You guys are doing really good, and I've also seen you guys are doing a bunch of movie nights, hanging out and chilling, just out of character.
Yep, yep. And if we ever do transfer to NoPixel Red Dead Redemption, we'll just have to become the Lost HC. We'll be a horse club then.
A horse club.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love to see you guys being a bunch of outlet bandits and outlaws. So, a couple jabs from chat is that it's fries, not chips, as well as it's a cookie, not a biscuit.
You know, them lot obviously don't know what they're talking about. let me guess, they're Americans.
And I plead the fifth.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
It's a trunk, not a boot.
I'm guessing it's a hood and not a bonnet as well.
It's a what?
A hood and not a bonnet. That's what we call it. We call it a bonnet and not a hood.
Oh yeah. Like, you lost me for a minute. Yeah, no, it's a hood. The hood of your car. It's not a bonnet. A bonnet is something you wear on your head back in the Old West days.
Wait, what?
A bonnet. It is a type of hat that women would tie onto their head, and it had like basically a big visor on it to keep the sun out.
Yeah, that fucking thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a bonnet.
Oh, right. A bonnet hat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Hat.
and you guys drive on the wrong fucking side of the road.
Listen. You should be doing as you do as you say. So, I mean, you do as you're told. That's what you should be doing.
Do as you're told. Well, we're told to drive on the right side of the road.
No. You should go back to the fucking the left. Simple as. You should become more English.
More English, huh?
Yeah, yes, please.
Fight you for it.
I think it's weird though, because I'm pretty sure most of the world drive on the right hand side.
Oh, I know Canada does.
And only like a small portion actually drive on the left.
Well, I could be completely wrong, but I think driving on the left side of the road for you guys came in as a way of regulating horse and buggy traffic.
Okay, all right.
You know, back when you'd have a lot more carriages and wagons going through town as a way to kind of standardize things, it was made to drive on the left. And I think there was actually a specific reason, something about the driver or whatever, but I don't remember exactly why, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Wait, am I learning more about Gary's history than he knows?
Oh, you're actually teaching me as an American. Wow.
I'm an armchair historian, so
Fuck.
I watch documentaries and things.
You know what? You like one of them fucking American tourists that comes to visit the Queen.
I wouldn't. I mean, I think it might be cool to visit the Queen back in like the 90s, but like I hate to say it, you're not. It's against the law to envision the death of the king, but no, let's just face biological fact that her clock is ticking.
Oh, she's fucking yeah.
She's well in her 90s.
Oh no. Well, the thing is, a fucking mum lived to like 100 and something as well, though.
Yeah, her mom did. I was trying to remember. Her grandmother almost did.
Yeah. So I mean, how old is she exactly?
Oh God, I'd have to. Someone Google it in chat.
She's 95 years old.
95. Okay. And to give reference, my grandfather is 94 years old.
All right. Oh shit.
But I will have to say though that because you guys have a constitutional monarchy, which I think it's some people question why you guys still have a monarchy there when it's only like a symbolic figurehead of the country. Like, how do you feel about still having a queen? Is there something prideful in carrying on that kind of tradition?
I like it, but just because of the history behind it. It's one of the reasons why I like it, and it's how long it's been going.
Well over 1,000 years.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. They might be stuck up pricks, but I mean, yeah.
Well, they're raised in a different kind of environment and generation because
like back when it all first started, like the king and shit like that.
They didn't even speak your language.
Well, the thing is, they'd be out fighting with their with their army. They'd actually be in the army fighting. You know what I mean? Putting
Oh
themselves in
yeah.
danger type stuff.
Well, it wasn't until Henry VIII did that actually stop, because there was actually a series of a string of peace, except for with France. But
Yeah, fuck France.
I mean, there was the little skirmishes with France and everything, but I mean, I think Henry VIII was the first reign that was when the kings stopped going out and fighting.
To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me just because of he was a big fucking guy, Henry VIII.
Not when he was younger, though.
I mean,
When he was young and took the crown, he was fit and very athletic. After he hurt his leg in the jousting accident that plagued him for the rest of his life, he continued to eat as he did when he was an athletic man, and that's when he gained weight. So I would say from early to mid-30s on is when he actually started putting on all that weight. But he still lived for quite a while after that, so a good half of his life or so, he was a big guy.
I can't remember how many wives. Was it 8 wives he had? I can't remember. I think it was 8 wives. He killed a shitload of them. Funny cunt he is.
Is 6.
Was it 6 wives?
Yeah, it was divorced, beheaded, survived, divorced. Wait. Fuck, what was it? Wait. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived.
Oh shit! Yeah. I remember that now. Mhm.
Yeah, so he had 6 of them.
You know, you think they would have learnt, after like maybe the, third one or something at least.
Yeah, back in the time, the king made or break your family, and
Yeah.
literally, if you had the king's favor, you had titles, you had lands, you had money. If you were not in favor with the king, you were destitute.
Yeah, you were just fucked basically.
Because they still had that kind of power back then. But now your monarchy is just a symbolic figurehead, which I don't know. Americans.
I don't know if it's true. I don't know how true it is, but apparently the Queen can do something with Parliament where
In an extreme situation, she does have certain rights. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Like saying like extreme situations in Parliament or something like that, or something's happening, she can like make a new Parliament or something basically.
yeah, she can. But the thing is too is that if she were to do something like that, it has the potential to topple the monarchy.
Yeah. Everyone might rebel and stuff like that.
Because the kings and queens early on who did well learned that their right to rule was given by the people, and the people could take it away.
I'll be honest with you. If she did it now and got rid of fucking all these politicians we have these days, I could see everyone actually applauding her. Like, well, get these fucking corrupt bastards out of fucking office.
Well, and I know that for Americans, we not having that kind of government system, it's just like it's hard for them to wrap their head around having a figurehead like that. But I think they also tend to forget the tremendous reign that your current queen has had and everything that she had to navigate through, because she was navigating through it post World War II.
I think she's probably been one of our best monarchs that we've ever had, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
with like
some of your best monarchs have all been women. What does that say? Well, come on, Queen Victoria, Elizabeth I. Although the first half of Elizabeth's reign was her golden age, the second half was a little rough.
Elizabeth was a bit of a fucking nut job, though.
Towards the second half of her reign is when she was a nut job, and that was due to her want of sweets and the lead makeup that she wore after she got the pox.
Her and her fucking sister, Mary.
Yeah, Bloody Mary. Hey, at least Elizabeth tried to introduce religious tolerance.
Yeah, true. She did.
Because she was Protestant, but she didn't care. Because her whole thing was, I don't care if they're Protestant or Catholic as long as they're loyal to the crown.
Well, that's the thing, though. Back in them days, it was always the man is, firm. He's always to action, and the woman was always caring, thinking
The
about,
women were
you
supposed
know
to
what I
be
mean?
the weaker sex. They weren't supposed to have the knowledge to be able to run a country, finances, having a tactical opinion. Because women were supposed to be, you cook, you clean, you take care of your husband,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
pop out
yeah, yeah,
babies. That's your job.
yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I've heard that I, I can't remember if it dates back like maybe like 300 years or something, or 200 years, but i-
Sorry, guys.
if you used to beat your wife, then you used to get you used to get beat by everyone else. But if your wife beat you, then you'd get beat by everyone else as well.
Oh my god. No, beating your wife used to be encouraged. And the whole, I don't know if it's true, but the rule of thumb is like they instituted a rule where you don't beat your wife with a rod that's wider around than your thumb.
Yeah, there was some type of like there was laws around beating your wife, like what you can and can't do. Like you say, you can't beat them with something bigger than like what say your thumb or some shit like that.
Well, and that's the problem that the queens have had, including Elizabeth II, is that sexual, like the sex barrier between what a man and a woman can do or
Yeah, yeah.
considered to do, which is, we know now, is a fallacy. Big
She's
time.
done. She's done. I think she's done a good job with what she's had.
She has had to endure a lot of things because, as the reigning monarch and how she was raised, you're not supposed to have an opinion.
Yeah,
If let's
yeah,
say
yeah.
somebody's running for prime minister, she can't publicly say who she wants to win
Yeah,
that
yeah.
position.
She won't give you any of that. She'll just abstain from all that shit.
And I
She
know
basically, she wants to be neutral or some shit like that. If you could say that.
she, well, and I don't think it's for want. I think it was highly instilled
Well,
in her
yeah,
growth,
yeah.
especially through her grandmother.
I
And
think, I think, I think, I think. I don't know if I think most monarchs have probably been taught that after Parliament was formed.
I think so. To be non-biased, I guess you would say. But if you think about all the different things that she's run into, each crisis that comes along, they say that the crown is out of sync, and out of touch. And to a degree, I think it's true. But I also think the tight rope that they have to walk, because if they are too radical, then they can be called out for being too radical. If they're too conservative, they're called out for being too conservative. And so it's such a tight rope to walk. You're not going to make everybody happy. And I think that she's done the best job she can for the position that she was in. Her father didn't want to be king. She didn't want to be queen. But it was the position that she was granted regardless.
Yeah, yeah. But that being said, I mean, the royal family have done fucked up things, and there's a lot of, I don't like every single one of them, but I think, the Queen's done well. There is some of them that, like, for example, Prince Andrews.
I was going to say, Andrew's been
Yeah.
kind of excommunicated from
Yeah.
the royal household, hasn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, and with people living longer now, too, because Noam says that believes she's the longest reigning queen. Well, I think she's currently the longest reigning queen and the oldest.
I think isn't she the longest reigning monarch as well?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's the longest.
I think she is the
Oh,
longest
wait.
reigning monarch, and as well as the one being the oldest monarch. So think about all
no,
the
she
things that
isn't.
have changed in her lifetime alone.
No, she's
And
not. Louis, what's XIV in Roman numerals? Is that 14?
That's
So,
14.
so Louis the 14th is the longest reigning monarch. That was 72 years. And then you've got a guy from Thailand, 70 years.
Well, I was meaning for England itself.
Oh yeah, for England, because it's 69 years apparently.
Because at first, it was Elizabeth I who held it, and then I think it was
No.
Queen Victoria.
Yeah, so Victoria 63 years, and then George III 59 years.
The amount of stuff, like, imagine all the changes, from just political landscape to technological landscape, as well as culture changes and everything that she's gone through.
Oh, I bet that is just. I couldn't imagine how strange it
Oh
is
yeah.
sometimes for older people.
Well, my when I was 14, my great grandmother died and she was 96, which is a very old age in my opinion. And she went from having no electricity, like the family farm out there, the outhouse was still out there,
Oh
and
shit! Okay, fucking hell.
she had worked all day, when she gave birth to, I think there was a story about when she had to go give birth to like her second or third child. She had seven of them. She had made dinner, put it on the stove for her husband, and got the kids settled, and then hopped on a wagon to go to the midwife's house.
What the what? Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
The fuck. Well, they say women have like higher pain tolerances than men, don't they? Though as well.
Well, so at the time of when a woman's going to give birth, their pain tolerance does go up quite a lot. It's part of the
What
hormones and
the
everything.
fuck?
But it was also what the times called for. So, I mean, but now she sees, like, she got to see cars and electricity and indoor plumbing and everything become common than TVs, cell phones, computers.
It's just it's so strange how quickly we've advanced in 100 years. Like for example, from when we, like let's say England, like let's say from when England was formed, like mid 900s to what 1500s, 1600s. Not much had changed really.
I would agree with that
You know what I
statement.
mean? But I mean now from what 1800 to like now.
Yeah, there was a bit of a push forward during the Tudor reign. And then where things like innovations and everything were starting to be encouraged more. But then you hit the 1800s and you hit the industrial era and things just took off.
Yeah, and it's just it, now look at us. Now look at us. We're fucking. We're talking to each other from. I'm in fucking England. You're in America, and we're talking to each other.
Yeah, without any
Just like
delay.
that. Just like that.
Well, and I mean, at least for us nerds on here, the new form of friendships is the virtual friendships and everything else. And for when the queen started her reign, like this would be like, oh no, it'd be something like out of a science fiction novel.
Yeah. If someone said that this would be happening back in 1920, whenever it was, then they'd be like, "What? Get this guy in the nut house."
Right. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Gary. I think it's
Well,
been a
thank you for having
blast.
me. Yeah, it's been good. It's been
All right.
great.
So I do want to continue our around the world thing. I think I would like. What do you think about Rudy being on here for Germany? Because I know he's very proud of his country as well.
The only thing with Root, I mean, I think it'd be good. The only thing is he might be a tad busy just because of his job. I
Oh
don't
no, I
know.
figured he would be, but I
Yeah,
mean, do you think it's worth at least an ask?
yeah, definitely. I'd ask him. I think
All
it'd be
right.
good.
I think it would be good. Shinny said that she's from Austria. I think that'd be another one
Yeah, there
to
you
have
go.
on here. Kat lived in Japan for a while, didn't she?
Yeah. Kat did live in Japan for a while.
Yeah, Ferret mentioned that she's lived a bunch of different places.
Do you know? I'm pretty sure she actually knows how to speak Japanese as well.
Well, I mean, if she lived over there for a certain amount of time, she'd almost have to,
Yeah.
depending on what the circumstances were. But um, besides, I mean, I love all you guys from the Lost. So I mean, I
We
think
all love
it's
you as well.
aw. Although I only think about half of you know who I am.
Maybe.
Well,
Actually, you might be right because when someone said I was on a podcast early on when I was in the thing with them with Mel, he was like, "Who's Mel?"
right. Well, I mean,
I was like, "It's Ferret's wife."
well, because Reed knows, but Reed's known me from a couple years back. Rudy knows.
I think it's more like Holden. You
Well,
know?
Holden's a bit newer.
Yeah.
Like some of the original crew from several years ago, they knew who I am, but some of the newer
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
don't, and that's
Some
okay.
of the newer ones probably won't.
The bird that lived in Ellsbeard. Oh God, I could have punched Reed the other day. I had a
Oh,
coughing
really?
fit.
Why?
And
What happened?
I had a coughing fit. This is during an evening stream for Ferret. I had a coughing
Yeah.
fit, and it went through on his mic on accident because I couldn't quiet it enough, and he didn't hit
Okay.
his
Yeah,
mute
yeah.
quick enough. And Reed sits there in character and goes, "Hi, Mel."
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember him saying that.
God damn, I could have smacked Reed. And so I'll just like the bird that lives in Al's beard.
He's a little shit. He is.
He is a little shit. I'd love to get him on here, but I don't think he can keep his attention long enough.
I got a little mad OC with him yesterday though.
What did you?
He ocean dumped my car.
God damn it.
Yeah, I got a little bit mad with him. But you know,
So if somebody gets pissed about you doing some shit to their car, it's okay for them to get mad too.
I mean, the only reason I was so pissed at him is because he did it on purpose. The little shit.
It's Reed. Do you expect anything different?
I mean, yeah.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
Reed is a chaotic little shit.
I suppose I've got high expectations then. I just need to.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah, I just need to get used to him letting me down, I suppose.
Oh, T says that it did that car a favor. Like, what is with that
Fuck
spoiler?
off. Well, I'm memeing a little bit. I'm memeing with it a little bit because when I was younger, I was what you call a chav. You know, wear tracksuits, you know, and all that stuff. You know,
Oh, okay.
Drinking on the corner, and and then you have some mates, driving around in fucking Corsas or Saxos or Peugeots or whatever.
So you're kind of memeing off of that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make it like a bit like a. So, some of them, they'd had these stupid spoilers on them and these stupid body kits, over the top stuff like that. So I'm just memeing a little bit. but I'm actually starting to goddamn like it.
Oh, you're terrible, Gary. You're terrible.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us today, chat. If you want to see more of the around the world, and I only want to do this if we have somebody who can actually represent that country, please let us know in Discord. We have a 2 Girls 1 Rant channel. Please, or even if you have an idea for a rant in general. Next week we will be back with Destiny Grace. I don't know what subject we're going to cover, but like we said, we have a ton of them that we can go through. Gary does stream, and you've been streaming since you've gotten the new computer, haven't you?
No, I started. Yesterday was my first one.
Yesterday was okay. Yeah, I saw you on there today. But it will be on YouTube. Thank you, DJ and T. They've shouted you out, Bronze.
Hi, YouTube.
Yeah, they've shouted you out. So definitely check out Gary. You better keep streaming, dude. It's just another angle of the Lost.
We'll see. No promises.
No promises. And we will be back tonight. I don't know what game we're doing tonight, guys, but we'll be back in a couple of hours for our regularly posted evening stream. All right, but thanks, Gary. It's been a blast. I better go get a few things done. Awesome. And hopefully I can catch up with you sometime soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
All right, take care, chat.